Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Welcome to a DFS strategy video for the 2025 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. My name is Eric, and I'm here to go over everything you're going to want to know on how to target the optimal lineup this week. Of course, the optimal lineup is the perfect lineup, and I analyze optimal lineups every single week. In these videos, I like to start out with kind of a course and tournament information preview. Then I like to get into the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups to show you what kind of lineups or salary builds have been successful at this tournament. We can also use tools on SweetSpotDFS.com to kind of see any common optimal lineup for any of the tournaments. So I will take requests if people have them. Again, this is a live video, so anybody that's in the chat, like Joanne, I will be chatting with throughout this. There are timestamps down below if you just want to skip ahead. Obviously, during the live portion, there won't be since it's live. But if you're watching this on replay, just check out the timestamps down below. I like to talk to everybody that's in the chat whenever I can, and then get through this video. So anyways, course and tournament information, pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. I like to review last week's tournament just to show you how well the sweet spot process did there. And then I like to dive down into the sweet spot process. I like to go over the bucket system for this tournament, which really just narrows down our the players that we want to target to put into our lineups this week. Unfortunately, I don't have tee times. The PGA Tour didn't come out with tee times, so I can't do the Marquee Tee Times tonight. I might be able to. I think this happened last year. I don't know what's going on with the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I don't know if they have to figure out, the draws as to which amateurs get to play with these golfers or what have you. But it's always late with the tee times. And I do remember last year, I made the updates on the fly. So maybe that's what I'll do during this tournament. If I see that the tee times have been updated, I will go ahead, do the updates. You can see me in real time how I do them, and then we can talk about the Marquee Tee Times. And then, of course, at the end of the video, I will be building lineups for people. We can build lineups without Marquee Tee Times. I just have to update it on my end. So, yeah. I just saw something in the chat saying, I didn't realize it started on Wednesday, so I only set one lineup, only had made two lineups. One Zalatoris was out. I had posted that I had 33% of Zalatoris in my lineups. I actually had 45% of Zalatoris in my lineups. So, and unfortunately, I go into the office Wednesdays, and our team meeting is between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Zalatoris went out at 10:09 a.m. and I was leading the team meeting this last week, so I wouldn't have been on my phone regardless, just because we're in such a small team meeting that if I were to go on my phone, I'd look very unprofessional. So, but my phone was lighting up, like it was just buzzing in my pocket like crazy. It's like, who is bugging me? And thankfully, a lot of you guys reached out to me like, hey, I know you were on Zalatoris. Did you replace him? Did you switch him out? I did not. So 45% of my lineups were dead. I made my money back. If I could have substituted him to Jason Day, because I think that was the next price down was Jason Day. Holy crap, but I've been, I don't know, maybe a couple, I would say probably at least $20 richer, if not up to $200 richer. So unfortunately, that's just how it goes. It's one of those weird tournaments. These PGA tournaments never start on Wednesdays. I only go in the office on Wednesdays, so it's never going to happen for the future events. And for those that didn't know why there were so many withdrawals, apparently there was a stomach bug that was going around. Ludwig Oberg, he was leading the tournament for most of that tournament, ended up getting that stomach bug, was thrown up on the golf course, and ended up finishing poorly, finished really bad. So it's one of those, last week's event is one of those moments where you have to, you should create some kind of, I don't know, a spreadsheet, maybe write this into a journal or something. Last week's event is hard to analyze because of so many different events that were occurring during it. So you had the stomach bug that was causing a lot of people to withdraw. Who knows how many people were playing through that with that stomach bug. So that's one of those you just write in your notes saying, you know, stomach bug could have affected people's performances. We don't know a lot of them. We just know that Oberg withdrew because of it. People are saying Zalatoris withdrew because of it as well, but I'm kind of skeptical on that one. Apparently Woodland also, Gary Woodland had the stomach bug. But then not only that, not only did you have the stomach bug stuff, but you also had high winds at Torrey Pines on, I think it was Friday. Yeah. Oh, no. It started on Wednesday. So the tournament started on Wednesday. Your, 36 hole cut happened on Thursday. Actually, it really happened Friday morning. But Thursday, high winds then. And I think it was high winds throughout most of that weekend. So it's another one that you write in your notes and you just say, hey, it was chaos. It was unpredictability. I had actually had one really good lineup in the drive the green. It was my only bullet, and I needed Alejandro Tosti to make the cut. And he was, I think, -3 or -4 and ended up finishing at +3. So it's what do you do? What do you do? It's whatever. Anyways, that's kind of like a short recap. I will get into a review of the Farmers Insurance Open, but I'm gonna wait on that. Let's get into giveaway reminders, just so you guys know. Obviously, I'm doing giveaways. $100. You see how the goal over there to the left? 789 out of 800 subscribers, which means I need 11 more subscribers by the end of the month. We are sitting at, it is January 28th. We've got a few more days left until the end of the month. This tournament will start Thursday, so there's two more days. I'm sure as people are watching this, if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe, because if we hit 800 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away $100. This is going to be the last cash giveaway for this this type of giveaway. It will then turn into subscriptions, monthly subscriptions onto the website. I am building more and more tools every single week. If I'm not finishing them, I've already started them. I can showcase those a little bit later in the stream. But yeah, it's a full-fledged website now. It has it has the data tools that I care about so far. I am working on a strokes gain tool for you guys to use. I'm also working on a strokes gain calculator. So you guys will be able to use a calculator on my website to figure out strokes gain stats. So you can just play around and just see how absurd, the differences are from hitting it from 150 yards away from the green in the rough versus 100 yards in the fairway. Or actually it's vice versa. Sorry, 150 yards in the rough or in the fairway, 100 yards away in the up in the rough, right? 150 in the fairway, 100 yards. Yeah, that's how it goes. Those are basically even numbers. But anyways, yeah, constantly working on it, trying to build it. So anyways, $100 monthly. This monthly giveaway that we'll be doing. If you want an entry into that giveaway, you need to be subscribed. You need to comment. I do roll calls throughout this video. So I will ask you who your favorite golfer is. I'll be like, okay, roll call number 1. Who's your favorite golfer? And then you just type it in the chat while it's live and you get an entry that way. The longer you watch, the more I reward you. Now, if you don't have the opportunity to watch this live, that's okay. Leave a comment down below in the comment section. Last week, I had 2 people do that. You know how free it is to get an entry? Like, for those in the chat right now, I see it's blown up. I appreciate you guys. For those that are in the chat, I know Eric Carnivore, and I also know, I don't see him right now, but Nathan Johnson are the only two people that commented last week in the comment section. They get additional entries to the giveaway. So it's, you guys can do that. You guys can go in. Again, it helps me. And in return, I'm going to help you guys. Give you guys opportunities to win more money. So anyways, With that being said, we're going to go ahead and run the weekly giveaway. So I had 17 total entries. And like I said, Nathan Johnson and Eric Carnivore were the only people that left a comment on my YouTube video after it went live. You all missed out on free entries. But we do have some roll calls here. I did end up having 3 roll calls. I kind of fit in 2 towards the end because I was feeling a little guilty. I kind of lost track of time. So here we go with the first, or with the weekly giveaway. These will go into the subscriber giveaway. I'm sorry, the monthly giveaway. And then I'm going to be running that next Tuesday. So if we can hit 11 new subscribers on the channel, we just need 11 new ones. We got to get over the 800 subscriber threshold that you see over there in the goal. We do that, I give away $100. If not, I have t-shirts that I'm giving away. I have 4 different types. I can, we can work on, or you need to let me know which one you want, and I'll showcase them, probably in a little ad or something like that. So anyways, without further ado, here we go. Weekly giveaway winner for $5. Todd Madden. He's a new subscriber from 2 weeks ago. Todd, if you're in the chat, I don't know if you are, but whenever you do come in the chat, you, sir, you need to reach out to me. Reach out to me right there, SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com, or contact me through X. Let me know where I can send that money to you, whether it's Venmo, PayPal, Google Pay, whatever. We'll figure it out, but you will have to contact me. I don't have your contact information, so contact me. Congratulations, sir. Good to know, or I'm glad that you won. One other thing to note, when I reach 1,000 subscribers, so we're getting, it's been climbing. I looked at last year's AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am video just to see any pieces of information that I could use for this week. And I looked at the subscriber count. We were at 600, almost 608 or something like that. So we've gained about 200 subscribers. I imagine, or I hope, we can get to 1,000 faster than we got to 800. So if we can get to 1,000, I'm going to give away $1,000 worth of giveaways. $1,000 of giveaway money, basically. Now, the way to get an entry into this giveaway, you need to create an account on SweetSpotDFS.com. That is the only requirement. You don't even have to be subscribed to this channel, but it kind of goes hand in hand. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers in order to run this giveaway. But once we reach 1,000, I'll give away a lifetime membership on SweetSpotDFS.com. I'll give away 2 $100 cash giveaways. So I'm actually going to give away cash. It'll be in the amount of $100 giveaways, or $100 amounts, and then 1 annual membership. So you get one free year's worth of using the tools on SweetSpotDFS.com. So that's the last plug that I need to do. Before I get into the video, I want to remind you, on SweetSpotDFS.com, you can access a lot of different tools. Some of these are free. Some of these are actually, they're all free. They're all free. Some require you to have an account. Some don't. But in order to, I'm kind of showcasing one of the tools right now, but I don't mean to do this. I'm just going here under fantasy tools. If you want to use the optimizer that I'm going to be using today, go ahead and just drill down on the optimizer. If you want to check out the cheat sheet, go ahead and drill down on the cheat sheet. Now, I've just opened these up in new tabs, so I'll open those up right now. So here's the cheat sheet. This is a new tool that I created. It's still, I said this last week. I just haven't gotten around to this tool. There are other tools that I'm a little bit more interested in building, but this one is just kind of an overlook as to how I used to look at spreadsheets, how I used to create spreadsheets. So this is available to you. If you don't like this, that's fine. Again, it's a work in progress. You can come down here to the Google Sheet. So if you just scroll down on the page, on the website page, click on the click here button, or if you want to just use this window, you certainly can. But this will open up the Google Sheet, and you can follow along with me throughout this video. that you have access right here. So yeah, cheat sheets there. I also have an optimizer, which will prompt you to say, hey, if you want to use the SweetSpot DFS optimizer, put in your email here and request now. Once you click this button, an email gets triggered and sent to me. I need to visibly look at the email and then respond back to you. Unfortunately, I had a user last week email me at like right before 1 a.m. I woke up, went to work. I didn't even see my email until I got to work. It was like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. my time, and the tournament started at 11 a.m. So I think I sent it, or I sent an email like, hey, do you still want this? I didn't get anything back. So just be cognizant that I need to see the email. So if you're sending it to me, you know, I live in the Central Standard Time. If you're sending it to me in a late time and I'm in bed, my apologies. But yeah, I need to visibly see it. I don't have a way to just automate an optimizer to be sent to you. In the future, I'm going to have a tool. I'm going to basically have an optimizer like everybody else does. But that's probably not going to see my website until next year, most likely. That's something I'm going to have to create or pay someone to create for me. So anyways, those are available to you, the optimizer and the cheat sheet. I'll just click out of that, bring this back up here. And before I get into the strategy video, let me just check out chat because I saw it going, it was going like crazy. All right, Mr. Carnivore, what's going on? Joanne, good evening. AJ Love, hello, hello. Had no one make the cut last week? Oof, that's brutal. Two made the cut out of 6. I had all Willie Z. Yeah, same dude. Well, mostly. 5 for 6, that was it. Okay, okay. Ryan Henson, what's going on? Nice to see you. You played Saturday. You golfed, I'm guessing. Okay, yeah, I see that. Ball was moving on the greens. Yeah, Joanne, that's unfortunate not being able to play golf for 6 months. That stinks. I mean, welcome to Minnesota. We can't play golf for 6 months either. All right, Lombardi Lee, how are you doing? Jim Lemoyne sent your shirt out in the mail last night, so you should get it, I think on the 30th is what they said. Anyways, all right, let's go ahead and go into a course and tournament information, or into that segment. Here we go. So another shameless plug to the website. If you want to check out the tournament fact sheets, you can go to SweetSpotDFS.com, scroll all the way to the bottom under quick links, just drill down on the tournament fact sheets. It will send you to this page. Go check out the PGA Tour 2025 tournament fact sheets and drill down on the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. It is a Pro-Am. There will be... The Pro-Am means professional, amateur. So there will be amateurs to go along with these golf pros. It used to be a 54-hole cut, meaning they'd play 3 rounds of golf with the amateurs. And then that 4th day would just be at Pebble Beach and it would just be the professionals. Now they did away with that 54-hole cut. It's now a 36-hole cut. They play with the amateurs on Thursday, Friday. So I don't know how much it's going to affect them. Probably not. It's a signature event, so there's less people in the field than there have been in the past. Last year was the first time they switched it to a signature field. So there were 80 golfers in the field last year. There's going to be about 80 golfers in the field this year. That's all you really need to know about that whole tournament setup. There's a par 72 at the Pebble Beach golf links. That I think is a 71 or a 70 when it's the US Open. I can't remember off the top of my head. One of the most important things I like to look at is turf grass. I say this every single week. Poa-annus on the greens, almost strictly Poa-annus. We have Poa-annus on the approaches, fairways, as well as the rough. Now, there is ryegrass that's involved. You have a website that you use. I don't have this on SweetSpotDFS.com just yet. I was working on that this weekend, by the way. So again, everything in time, everything in time. But if you have access to ryegrass, use that. That's fine. And if you wanted to weigh the two grasses, I'm going to go ahead and say 80% on POA, 20% on ryegrass, if that. Maybe it's 90-10. So you don't need ryegrass whatsoever, but if you want to kind of get a bit more specific with your models, I think that's just fine. As for the rest of this, I don't know. I don't care that much more. Sometimes the course architect matters. You can use that as a weight in your models. Everyone and their grandma is talking about how small the greens are. Obviously, we talk about this every single year at Pebble. There's some of the smallest greens on tour, of course. We all know that, right? And another big difference, obviously, last year they did this, and they kind of did this during the COVID years, where they didn't have the third golf course in play, which used to be the Monterey Peninsula Country Club. Now just the Monterey Country Club. Now they just have Spyglass Hill with Pebble Beach. It used to be these two with Monterey. Now it's just those two. So if you want to look at the Spyglass Hill setup, you can just scroll down on the tournament fact sheets. You're going to get a lot of the same. POA, ryegrass, different architect, but again, use that as you want. One thing I almost forget to do every single week when I do these course and tournament informations is kind of doing a little breakdown, like a mapping of the golf course. I do this for every tournament, or I used to, and this is a part of the golf course information that I will provide on the website. This is what I was working on this last weekend. So basically, I like to map out to see what shot shape matters off of the tee. And it's when you want to be the most aggressive. More often than not, at Pebble Beach, golfers are going to be very conservative off the tee. So hole 1 says fade. Most golfers are just going to hit an iron to the apex of the dog leg, because this is a dog leg hole. So they're never going to go past that apex. But if people really want to stretch out the hole, hitting a fade is going to be more beneficial than a draw. So there have been times where I'm kind of iffy. Do I even include this, a fade here? But I think the best scoring opportunities, I'm going to go ahead and just say, what is the most beneficial shot shape? There are going to be golfers that will challenge that dog leg on hole 1. They'll end up in the rough, which is usually not good because that green is heavily slanted from left to right, back to front. You will see balls just like trundling down that hill, whether there's a ton of backspin or not. So this is definitely a position hole, but I still think, if you hit it to the apex of that dog leg, you're going to have 150, 160 yards in. If you challenge the dog leg, you'll have anywhere between 80. I think it's like 80 to 120 yards. So anyways, I just want to be transparent with that, give you a little bit more of an earful than I think most people care for. But again, transparency is key in my world, and I'd rather be transparent with you than not. For the rest of it, you can kind of see fades and draws. They're color coded. I do have this summary box down here that kind of shows you how many shot shapes matter. Really, it's pretty negligent. Doesn't really matter. If there's a golfer that likes to work the ball both directions, they probably have the biggest advantage. Otherwise, there isn't a huge advantage at all when it comes to what shot shapes matter. I mean, technically you have 4 total draw holes and 4 total fade holes, but just a little difference on the approach and off the tee. And the same thing kind of applies for Spyglass Hill. Now, if you're like, well, why does that matter to me? I do include this in the cheat sheet. I have shot shapes for most golfers, and it's their preferred shot shape. Now, you can believe it or you don't have to. I know some people are skeptical of this kind of stuff. I still to this day give golf lessons. I went to college to work in a golf shop. I mean to be a golf professional, I should say. I've given lessons most of my life, and that's what I was planning on doing for my career. Golf just doesn't make a lot of money, so I chose to get out of it. But my passion still is golf. Obviously, I do these podcasts. I also know when I look at someone's golf swing, what they're comfortable hitting and what they're not. And if people, some of the data nerds out there, want to tell you that, oh, well, these golfers are good enough to hit whatever shot shape they want, they're not wrong. They certainly can. You want to know who else can? This guy right here. I can hit any shot shape I want. I'm not on the PGA Tour though, and I'm not saying that's a perfect comparison. It's just that you will find out golfers stick to one shot shape because it's more consistent. When they have to change their shot shapes, that is when they can get out of whack. They can get out of rhythm. So they prefer one shot shape over another. That's what you have right here. And it's some of this is a no-brainer. Like, we know Rory can hit fades. For the most part, he tries to hit fades. But his main shot shape is a draw. Scottie Scheffler's main shot shape is a fade. We all know Colin Morikawa, fade is his preferred shot shape. Can he hit a draw? Yes, he can. But he kind of sucks when he hits draws. He's not good. And when he started hitting draws, it totally took him out of his element, and he started playing worse golf. This was like a year or two ago. So again, I do have the shot shapes here for you guys to look at. Use it if you want. It's not going to kill you if you don't. You don't have to. It's just another added piece of information you can use when trying to narrow down your player pools. So I just wanted to add that little piece. Again, you're going to have about 80 golfers in the field. Looks like there's 80 on the button. 745 is your strength of field. When I saw this, I was excited because I understand this is a signature event, but I think if we were to go to last year, it's not as high. I could be wrong. Could be misremembering it. 741, so it's exactly the same. But we haven't seen that type of strength of field at all this year, not even in the fall. Yeah, in typical years, so last year was the first time it was a signature event. 2023, your strength of field was 175. 175. If you wanted to make an argument that course history isn't going to be that big of a deal this week because of previous events had really weak strength of fields, like they were just completely different fields, yeah, that makes sense, because even in 2022 it was 180. In 2021, I don't have it. Okay. So 180, 175, and then boom, goes up to 741. And now we're sitting at 745. When I bring this up, why I brought that up, Jordan Spieth and Patrick Cantlay are your main dudes when it comes to course history at this event. Well, those two golfers, when the strength of field is the lowest, are the best golfers in the field. This week, they won't be. Obviously, Jordan Spieth is coming back from injury, so you got to take that into account. Scottie Scheffler is also coming back from surgery, so you got to take that into account. I didn't mention his name, but the fact that I was talking about Spieth with an injury, just wanted to mention Scheffler's surgery. Patrick Cantlay, I mean, I think this is one of those golf courses he's just comfortable at. And we kind of saw that with the American Express. I think he made kind of a charge. Am I correct on that? Cantlay 5th, yeah, at the American Express. So on golf courses he's comfortable at, I don't mind playing Patrick Cantlay. I want to mention that because we are in the course and tournament information segment, and Patrick Cantlay and Jordan Spieth are going to be your top dudes when it comes to being the best at that category. You'll also have Jason Day. That's a pretty good course fit and has decent course history here. Tom Hoagie is going to be another guy. But again, those are golfers who did well at this event when the top dogs were not here. So again, this is a very high strength of field. I don't know if you should give those guys as much importance this week as you normally would at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. You certainly can. But I wouldn't get too enamored by it. So just keep that in mind. I don't think there's anything else that I really need to talk about with the tournament and course information. Let's go ahead and get into the next segment, which is the Pass Optimal and GPP winning lineups. Actually, before we do that, let me see the chat. Minnesota Jesse, the body is back. This is the second week in a row that you brought up Jesse Ventura, I'm pretty sure. So excited for the Royal Rumble. Are we concerned with players who had the stomach bug? No. Stomach bugs don't really do much to your golf swing. It's just If you need a bathroom, that's the only time that's really going to affect your golf game. When you see my swing, you say you suck and tell me to retire. Yeah, I'm going to tell you to retire right now. Spieth almost died here a couple years ago. Yeah. All right, pass optimal GPP winning lineups. For this segment, we are going to go to SweetSpotDFS.com. I've built a couple tools. One are the historic salary builds, which is one of my favorite tools. And then the other one is the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Now, you need a free account. You need to create an account. Again, it can be free, but you need to create an account on SweetSpotDFS.com to utilize or to use these tools. They will be put behind a paywall next month. So just be prepared for that. If you want to check it out for free, go sign up. Now, what's the difference between the two? One is a very zoomed out look. That's the historic salary builds. The other one, the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups, you can zoom in a little bit more. So I have already loaded this tool with the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am fields, all of them dating back to 2019. So if you just want to mess around with this, there's a little clear selections eraser up here, or you can just go in here, uncheck AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. You delete that. You don't need to see it. And this will give you an overall look at every single event that I have DraftKings data for. I think it goes back to 2019. Some go back to 2018. You can see the numbers get a little smaller when I drill down into some of these years. Yeah, 2016, I just had the Masters tournament. So then I had 2017. So yeah, it's limited, just so you guys know. But yeah, I want to look at AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So I'm just going to put ATT in, drill down on that, and it's going to give me kind of an overall makeup. So the boxes that you see here are just summaries. It lets you know how many 10K golfers were in either the GPP winning lineup you see up here, the optimal lineup, and the Sweet Spot optimal. Now we can drill down into each one of these just to see the general makeup of each of those types of lineups. So those are the three lineups that I keep track of. But the overall look is that in 80% of basically lineups that are going to win you thousands of dollars, because again, the GPP winning lineup is the lineup that won. Most of this comes from the Drive the Green, so at least won $25,000. The optimal lineup is the perfect lineup. The Sweet Spot optimal is a lineup that beats the GPP winning lineup whenever possible and spends as close to $50,000 as possible. That's your Sweet Spot optimal. Because I'm trying to prove to you guys, you don't need a lot of, you do not need to leave a lot of money on the table in order to take down a GPP. So that's what the Sweet Spot optimal is. And when we scroll down, if we just drill down the Sweet Spot optimal, you can see each of the years, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, and how much salary was used. Now, again, the Sweet Spot optimal takes down the GPP unless the GPP is so good. Like if it's the best lineup, then that's the only time it can't. And that happens very infrequently. I'd say 2 out of 1,000 times is that ever going to happen, or 1 out of 500. Go back to math class. But then you can kind of see a more generalized look in this little box over here as to what the Sweet Spot optimal lineups were, how they were created. 10-9, 7-7-7-7. So 10, 9, 4 sevens that happened 3 times, or 42% of the Sweet Spot optimals. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. I don't know how often you've ever heard me say that on this channel, but here's proof that is one of the best salary builds to start out with. That also happened 3 times, 42% of the time. And the only other one that I have here is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. So what do you see in common with these lineup builds? At least one 10K, at least one 9K, and then you have to make a decision. Do you want to play a 6K? If you play a 6K, you include an 8K. If you don't play a 6K, it's all 7s. And it's not, it doesn't have to be all 7s. You could just do a 6 with 3 7s, but I mean, all that this lineup is going to look like is basically if you start out with Scotty Scheffler at the top because he's 11,900, If you started with him and then you went to like Ludwig Oberg or something like that, or whoever's in the 9K range, and then you couldn't fill out the rest of your lineup with 4 7Ks, and you needed to include a 6K, you could do that this week. I think that's just fine. But as you can see, it's 10-9 and 4 7s, 10-9-8 with 2 7s and a 6, or 10-9-8 with 1 7 and 2 6s. So that's your sweet spot optimal. But again, if we zoom out and we look at all lineups, GPP winning, optimal, and sweet spot, your 2 main lineups were the ones I just mentioned: 10-9 and 4 7s, 10-9-8, 7-7-6. Those are your main ones. And then you can see the rest of these. And I'm not going to talk about all of them. You guys can go and check it out. Just remember, your optimal lineup usually leaves a lot of money on the table. It's very difficult to build a lineup like this. I don't suggest it. Don't leave a lot of money on the table. It's stupid. It's foolish. It just, you're never going to win money trying to do that. So you've got 43,100 leaving $6,900 on the table, 47,800 leaving $2,200 on the table. Now we get a little bit normal with 49.4, but then it's 48.9, 48.5, and then 2 normal ones down here, 50,000 and 49.8. And those are, one of them is a 10.9.8, 7.76. The other one's a 10.9.9, 7.66. So again, different ideas for lineup builds. Now, I told you that the Pass Optimal and GPP winning lineup tool takes a bit more of a zoomed in level, and that's because we include the players that are included in those lineups. So you can kind of look to see, hey, you know, does it really make sense to play these types of golfers? So for instance, if I go ahead and click on the GPP winning lineup and we look at 2024, you can see the GPP winning lineup used $49,900, and you can look at the makeup of the golfers included. Scheffler, Morikawa, Hoagie, Hubbard, you had Oberg, so 2 9Ks, and Wyndham Clark, who obviously won the tournament. Now you can go ahead and drill down on any piece, anything that's on this tool. So if you wanted to sort by salaries just to have a better top-down look, you certainly can do that. So you can see the most expensive golfer, 11.4. Scotty Scheffler finished 6th. This is another beautiful thing that I like to use because I can tell you guys, hey, being that expensive, you can still win a GPP winning lineup finishing 6th place. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, if he's going to be priced that much, he needs to finish at least in the top 3. Not the GPP winner from last year. He had 11.4 T6. And by the way, this tournament was cut short last year to 54 holes. So we have no idea. Scheffler could have came back and won that tournament. I definitely don't think Wyndham would have stayed up at the top. But yeah, you can go and drill down on any one of these, any of these filters. If you want to take a look at every golf or every tournament, you certainly can. It is sorted by salaries. Can't remember if I go by golfer, will it? I have something that will change it. Okay. I do have a little field over here that you can't see. Is my sort ID. But anyways, you can go check. Like, obviously I have, okay, so I have the Farmers Insurance open for that optimal and GPP winning lineup there. I did create new buttons, so more filters will open this up and you can change some of this. Strength of field doesn't work right now, so don't worry about that. You can look at your sweet spot optimal right here. You can go less filters, and if you have things plugged in here, let's do something like this. You can actually clear filters with one button. So it'll clear all your filters and actually get me to a different page. I'll have to update that. Okay. I didn't think it was going to bring me there. That is so funny. Okay. Good to know. I didn't know. I was testing this before jumping on. I didn't see that little bug. So the clear filters will send you to the historic. Okay. I know why. I forgot to change where this clear filters goes to. So I'll do that after this video. So that's your Pass Optimal and GPP winning lineups. Again, we zoomed out with the historical salary builds, saw that 10.9.8, 7.76 is probably where you want to start. You either choose to have a 6K golfer or you don't. I think we probably do want a 6K golfer in our lineups because this is a high strength of field event. And more often than not, I know I can't show this to you guys, but when the strength of field is high, we normally see a 6K golfer with a couple studs at the top. So I'm going to be starting a lot of my lineups 10-9-8, 7-7-6. I will be making some substitutions. Maybe I go 10-9. If I'm going with Scotty, I'll probably go 10-9, 3 7s and a 6. Maybe I'll go with 4 7s if I can. But I'm really more interested in starting 10-9-8, 7-7-6 and going from there. So that was your pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Let's take a look at a review of last week's event. I don't have a transition for this. That's fine. We don't need one. Before I get into it, let me take a look. Anything on the chat? Nope. Okay. So for last week, what I like to do with the review is just take a look at how many buckets were successful. Sometimes it needs eyeballs on it because the numbers or the ranges aren't quite how I vision them in the beginning of the week. Or here, let's take a look and I'll explain. So basically what I'm trying to do is see how many golfers finished inside the top 10 for each one of these buckets, how many finished inside the optimal lineup, and then I compare it to what was in the minimum projection and the max projection. If either of these two numbers fit inside those projections, it's a success. And that is highlighted with a little Y over in this column. So as you can see, we have a ton of Ys. We have 3 no's. So let's take a look as to why those are no's. We can see with the projection here for last week, 3s, it is 0 because we always round down to 2, which we always round up. And we also want a 2-point buffer in between the two. We actually had 3 golfers inside the top 10 and 3 golfers in the optimal lineup. So therefore it failed. So that worked out. So that's a no. For the other bucket down here, recent form 1s. We wanted somewhere between 1 to 3, and we had 0 in the optimal lineup and 0 inside the top 10. But of course, the sweet spot optimal, I always build a sweet spot optimal that follows 100% of the sweet spot rules. So you can see there's a 1 in each of those columns, which fits inside the projections. That's 2 buckets that failed. The last one, recent form 4s, we wanted somewhere between 0 to 2. We actually had 4 inside the top 10, and we did have 2 that were in the optimal lineup. Now, this number can't look at a buffer, like it doesn't round up. Or I'm sorry, it does round up, but because this is 0.99, it rounds up to 1. So this is kind of looking at this saying, oh, 0 to 1, that didn't work out, but it's actually 2. So this bucket is successful, which means of the 36 buckets that I had last week, 34 were successful. It's a pretty high success rate, so I'll take it. Now, there are other pieces that go into the sweet spot process, including the Marquee Tee Times. So when I sort this out, I do have it already sorted by the group ranks. So these are the Marquee Tee Times from last week. And the rule is we want to choose 2 to 4 golfers from the 9 groups that I'm highlighting. Oh yeah, we had Will Zalatoris that withdrew, so I'll have to redo that. And we also had 2 golfers down here. I think this must have been a Gary Woodland lineup. Anyways, we want 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times in our lineups, and we do not want to pair them up with anyone else that they're playing with. So for instance, you can see Keegan Bradley played with Oberg and Thigala. Oberg was winning that event for most of the time. Keegan is the guy that ended up not only being the GPP winning lineup, but also in the sweet spot optimal. So that's one of the golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. The other one is Sung J M. You needed a reason to play a 10K golfer. Let's just say you knew Ludwig was going to be highly owned and you wanted to pivot down to Sung J. Well, if you're following the Marquee Tee Times, that gives you access to Keegan Bradley. Because if you started with Oberg, you couldn't put Bradley in your lineup if you're following the sweet spot process. You could have, I suppose you could have went Oberg and Sung J. I did have that in a couple of my lineups. But yeah, you would want to choose. I mean, if you were so lucky to go to Sung Jae instead of starting with Oberg, boom, you could do Keegan Bradley. That would be perfect. Now, here's the thing. Zalatoris withdrew 50 minutes before his tee time. Zalatoris was in this group right here with McNeely and Justin Rose, Maverick McNeely. They obviously get replaced with alternate golfers, or alternatives, I should say. No, alternate golfers. The alternate golfers are much worse ranked than Zalatoris. So if I were to re-rank the Marquee Tee Times, I bet you McNeely and Rose might even drop outside of the top 10 or the top 9. They might stay within the top 9, but most likely they won't. Another one is down here, Kurt Kitayama and Emiliano Grillo. I think they're paired up with Gary Woodland, who also withdrew. Now, if you know this information beforehand, I can make updates to the tee times, and it will adjust the group rankings. Meaning this group down here, Sam Stevens, Daniel Berger, and Michael Kim, probably go up into group 9. I almost guarantee they go up into group 9, at least, if not go up a couple more, which would then make Sam Stevens, who was in the optimal lineup with Sung Jae Im, in the Marquee Tee Times, meaning you wanted that 2 golfers in the you wanted 2 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times, because 2 to 4 typically finish inside the optimal lineup or are in the optimal lineup. Obviously, there were 2 GPP winning lineup golfers there. There were also 2 Sweet Spot optimals. And not too far down, you had Sam Stevens. You also had the winner, Harris English. And another optimal lineup golfer is Andrew Novak, who played in a really good group. Look at this. 2 ninth place finishes and 1 third place. That is a good group. So you could have won money there if you played all 3 of them together. But obviously, they weren't in the optimal lineup together. They weren't in the GPP winning lineup together. So anyways, just to do like a quick look, a comparison, your optimal lineup last week used $44,500 of the salary, leaving $5,500 on the table. It scored 530 points. There are other golfers here in the black tick marks, the top 6 golfers, leaving a lot of money on the table. Your GPP winning lineup, 49,800, had 3 guys here inside the top 4, 2 guys down here in 15th place, and then 1 guy down here in 25th place. That lineup scored 473.5, and your Sweet Spot scored 498. Nearly 25 more points than the GPP winning lineup. That used up 49,600. It would be this lineup that's highlighted in green. So you would have started with Sung Jae, and then you would have went to Keegan Bradley, Taylor Pendrith, then up to Harris English, Andrew Novak, and then Hayden Springer. Those 4 or those 6 golfers would have been in your Sweet Spot optimal and would have scored 498. So you would have beat the GPP winning lineup by 25 points, and you would have been behind the optimal lineup by 32 points. So almost wedged right in the middle. So anyways, last week I would say was a success. Again, I had 45% of my lineups with Will Zalatoris in it. I could not make substitutions. I was locked into a meeting. I had no access to do that, so I had to bear the bad news. I still made my money back following the Sweet Spot process. So if I can do it, you can do it. That's my pitch for you guys. And that's going to conclude the review of the farmers. What do we got in the chat? I just saw someone say tee times are out. Lovely. Okay, we'll update those when we get there. I've seen people on Facebook say they had the stomach bug for over 2 weeks. Yeah, isn't that the Novo virus or something like that? Good night. What's up, man? I got about 30 minutes. Glad to catch you. Wonderful. I did cash last week, but I lost money overall. I lost money. I said I won my money back, but I mean, I lost a couple bucks. I don't remember what exactly I had. Either $47 invested or I had $45 invested. I can't remember. And ended up making 46. So I might have lost some money. Maybe I won some. I'm not sure. Okay. Done with the review. Let's see. Yeah, we're cruising along. Okay, cool. let's go ahead and get in the bucket system for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So obviously we just reviewed the Farmers Insurance Open. Now we're going to take a look at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, see what fits inside the SweetSpot process to narrow down our selections to put into our lineups. And a good way to do this, so if you want to follow along with me, you can do so on the cheat sheet. I forgot to mention that in the last couple segments, but I did at the beginning of this video. Go to SweetSpotDFS.com, find the cheat sheet, scroll down until you see the click here button, click on that, and you will get to the cheat sheet. What I like to do, especially for these videos, just to make them a little bit shorter, is really narrow down my conditionals. So basically what I mean by that is I want to find my anchor plays, my anchor buckets. And in order to do that, I need to go into this min projection filter, make sure the filter's on, filter by condition, and I want to go greater than or equal to 1. All this does is it filters out all the other ones that don't have 1, which basically tell us when we do this, it almost tells us we want to play at least one golfer from each of the buckets that we see right here. Now, some of them are suspect. So like this one, for instance, playing an 8K golfer, the projection's 1.06 to 1.76. We always round up with the max and we always round down with the min. But if you round up, this goes to 2. If you round down, this goes to 1. I always want a 2-point buffer, between the two. And I never go up. I always go down first. So if we can, we do. And in this case, this is a 0 to 2 bucket, despite it saying we want to play at least 1. Just throwing that out there. Another one would be the 9K golfers. I do kind of have a different projection over here, which is a bit more of a conservative projection. And if anything is close to being less than 2, that's out as well. So basically this one, these two are kind of iffy. I don't think I really want to anchor around any of these. And then of course I have this one up here as well. So what I'm going to do here is let's just go into the max projection column and add a filter there that's greater than 2.43. That should cut out some of the other riffraff. Yeah, that's fine. 2.43. So again, filter by condition, greater, I accidentally double clicked there. Go greater than, not greater than or equal to 2.43. And then that's really going to narrow it down. And for the interest of time, I want to get rid of any really high numbers here. And since this is a signature event, let's get rid of anything that's, I don't want to cherry pick this a little bit. Anything greater than 25. Yeah, that's fine. So I go into this year for bucket totals and just go greater than or equal to 25. Now we have a very, I'm sorry, less than or equal to. Less than and equal to. So now actually we have a lot of buckets to talk about, which is different than most videos. Most videos we have like 4 or 5 to talk about. Looks like we have 8, and they're good ones to talk about. Okay. So now that we put those filters on, we go to the dream sheet, which if you're following along on the video, again, there's a cheat sheet available to you. Go check it out. Go to SweetSpotDFS.com, go to Fantasy Tools, find the cheat sheet there. Basically, what you want to do is make sure there's a filter on this and clear everything out. Just select 1 for last year. And these are all of our golfers who finished inside the top 20 last year at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which again was cut short to 54 holes. We had 23 golfers, 23, so more than 20, which obviously can happen if you got ties, 23 golfers that fit in this bucket. The projection is 2 to 5. You want to build somewhere, or we want our lineups to have either or somewhere between 2 to 5 golfers in it. So when we look at this, starts with Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, Ludwig Oberg, Justin Thomas, which is probably going to be the most popular golfer on the slate, Cantlay, Burns, those are all your golfers 9K and above. And then it drops down into these 8K golfers and 7K golfers and some 6K. I'm not too interested in the 6K golfers down there. I don't, again, the whole thing we say here is never fall in love with the 6K golfer, but never disrespect one. So I'm not going to overplay anybody down here. I don't like any of them really, but based off of the don't disrespect any, I'm just not going to, I'm not going to disrespect any of these guys. Any one of them could be just fine. I usually like to set my exposures to like 4%. I don't want to play any one of them more or less, well, more than 4%. But I want probably some exposure to them. So, yeah, so 2 to 5, which means if you wanted to start with Scotty Scheffler and you wanted the 4 7K golfers to go with it, you could pick any of these guys right here. So you could go 5 golfers from this bucket, and this spends $41,100 if you were just to go with Scotty and some of these 7K golfers. Obviously, I'm not really advocating for that, but you could. Maybe you don't like one of these $7,400 golfers, and instead you like Adam Scott. You can do something like that. This still leaves you. This leaves you $8,700 to work with. I think you can build some decent lineups that way. Now, the thing I love about the buckets, this says play somewhere between 2 to 5. That means don't play less than 2 and don't play more than 5. So quite frankly, it does narrow the possibilities of lineups you can build, not by a lot, but it still does. So it helps keep you away from putting 6 of these guys in your lineup. I think it's impossible. I wouldn't say impossible, but it's probably going to be improbable that you have to stay away from at least 2 of these guys. Or I should say at least 2. You're going to have at least 2 of these golfers in your lineups. So you might not really have to stay away. They're probably just going to be in your lineups. But anyways, 2 to 5. That is your projection. Another one is 1 to 3 for course history 1s. So again, clear out all the filters, go into course history, clear those out, and then put just 1. So we're just looking at course history 1s. These are golfers with your best course history. This could mean they have only played the tournament once. This could mean they've played it several times. A good litmus test to this is if you're looking on the dream sheet and you see this course history number, if it matches the last year number, it's probably because they only played 1 time. It's very rare you're going to have an even number like that, like Colin Morikawa, Scheffler, Oberg. I know Oberg definitely, this was his first time. But you can see some of these other guys probably only just played once. Keegan, that's probably, I don't know if I believe that with Keegan playing 1 time. Maybe. I will have a course history tool out there for you guys to look at. Oh, yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to look at this. But anyways, any one of these guys fits into that mold. Look at Jordan Spieth, by the way. Jordan Spieth is in this bucket with a 39th place finish last year. He just fits inside that bucket. So this projection, by the way, is 1 to 3. 1 to 3. 90% of the time, we see at least 1 golfer from this bucket finish inside the top 10 every year. 0 to 3 in the optimal lineup. 71% frequency rate of having 1 golfer from this bucket in the optimal. And of all golfers from this bucket, 12% finish inside the top 5. So, I mean, when you have Scotty and Colin Morikawa at the top, it's hard to even feel like neither one of these guys is going to finish inside the top 10. And then you got Oberg, Cantlay, Day, Clark, Bradley, Spieth, Cole. Okay, so Cole and Bezzy and Matthew Pavon, actually, those 3 6K golfers that were in the last bucket we looked at are in this bucket as well. Now, the whole thing is, I've said this in the past, just because they're in all of these anchor buckets doesn't mean they're a slam dunk for finishing inside the top 10. It just increases their chances. So these 6K golfers, we could use our Vegas odds brain because they're in the 6K range. They have high odds. This just kind of lowers the odds, makes them better that they're going to finish inside the top 10. Probably unlikely, but if you wanted to take a spin on Eric Cole, Christian Bezuidenhout, or Matthew Pavon, so be it. I don't think that's an issue. So anyways, oh, what's going on, Matty C? Loving the content from another angle. Appreciate it, man. Thoughts on Justin Rose this week? Justin Rose, I mean, I think this event almost, I wouldn't say it suits him or it's perfect for him, but as he gets into the twilight ages of his career, I think an event like this is absolutely perfect for him. The guy usually just hits it straight, pretty decent with his wedges. No, he's won the tournament, what, twice in his career? No issue playing Justin Rose, and he's cheap, so that works out. All right, going to the next bucket. So we just covered last year 1 and course history 1. Let's take a look at course history 3. These are golfers with like middle of the pack course history. So in order to do this, just clear out and then just select 3. And now we get probably the most popular golfer on the slate, Justin Thomas. Mav McNeely, which is another good play. Remember, the projection is 1 to 3. So out of these 25 golfers, we want to play 1 to 3 of them. So, and I don't really care who they are. There's a lot of good names in here. A lot of good cheap plays down here. We also have a couple, well, 1 9K golfer, by the way, 3 8s, a slew of 7s. So really, if you were going to follow that, when we discussed the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups, you know, it's starting with a 10 and a 9, and then determining, do we want a 6K golfer in our lineup? If not, then we could just plug in 3 to 4 7Ks. Well, if this projection or this bucket is projected to have 1 to 3 finish inside the top 10, you got 10 7K golfers right here that you can choose from. With that being said, it's almost hard for me to think that you're not going to find a golfer from this range not inside the top 10. And if I was to have a beer bet with somebody, I'd say one of these guys will finish inside the top 10. And I think it's going to be Beau Hossler. One thing I forgot to mention, and I know I usually like to stay on path with the segments I'm in. One thing I mentioned last week, you remember how I don't know if you guys were here when I was making beer bets with Byron, but here, let's do this. Go like this, and I think this will work, right? All right, so we had Willie Z, right? We had Will Zalatoris, who had top 20'd the year before and top 20'd the week before. Here, let's get rid of this riffraff. I just want to look at these two guys. I used to do this, and I'm going to do it this week as well. Looking at the combination of last year finishes with last week finishes. Because every single year that I reviewed the Farmers Insurance Open, I saw, you know, golfers who top 20 the year before and top 20 the week before make the cut, and not only make the cut, but finish inside the top 10. Now, Willie Zalatoris was there. Or he was included with this, but then he withdrew right before the event started. So he didn't get involved in that. Now, my beer bet, good night, with Byron was at least, so I had said 1 to 2 of these guys is going to finish inside the top 10, and they're all going to make the cut. And then Byron's like, oh yeah, well, Will Zalatoris is going to finish inside the top 10, no problem. And I said, okay. 1 to 2 golfers will finish inside the top 20, and all will make the cut. They made the cut. There were only 2 left. One's Will Zalatoris withdrew. Beau Hossler finished inside the top 20. Mark Hubbard made the cut. So I was I was hoping all 3 of them were going to finish inside the top 20, but I had a really good feeling that if you were to play Hossler and or Hubbard or Hosler with Zalatoris. I did a lot of Hosler Zalatoris lineups. I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal. So I mentioned this because that's what we're gonna do this week as well. I didn't really dive into it as deep as I did at the Farmers, but I do think we're gonna see a little bit of that here as well. And that's where Beau Hosler sits once again. Once again, Beau Hosler is a last year one as well as a course history one, and he's a a last year one and a last week one. So he was the same bucket combination at the Farmers. He's the same bucket combination here. And he's in one of these anchor buckets. That isn't in the last one we just looked at. Like the last one we looked at had way sexier names. You had Scheffler, Morikawa, Oberg, Cantlay, Day, all of these guys. Even Jordan Spieth's in this bucket. These are far sexier names than the course history threes. Far sexier names. And you got JT up there, but then it's just 8Ks and 7Ks. So basically, if you want to fade Justin Thomas, you've got great picks here in the 8 and 7K range. And Beau Hosler's one of them. Adam Scott's rated better than Hosler in my model, but I like the combination that Hosler has. So just throwing that out there. It's another good advantage or, good reason to play Beau Hosler this week. Okay, moving on. Recent form ones. We want somewhere between 1 to 3, and then we're going to get into recent form 2s, which we also want 1 to 3, almost 1 to 4. Let's take a look at those. And again, if you're following along with me on the dream sheet, which you can access through SweetSpotDFS.com, really the cheat sheet, go check it out. We clear out all the filters and then only select the one bucket we want. And obviously recent form 1s is the first one we're looking at. We want somewhere between 1 to 3 golfers from this bucket. We have Morikawa up here once again. Obviously we don't have Scottie Scheffler because he has been out with a wrist injury. Well, actually hand surgery. So he hasn't had any rounds of golf under his belt, so he's not going to have any recent form. So we start here with Collin Morikawa, 10-2. It's another good reason to play Collin Morikawa, honestly. I don't know if I'm going to play him over Scottie. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm also not going to really stay away from Justin Thomas, but I'm going to be limited. I'm not going to play that much Justin Thomas. Primarily because of the last bucket we just looked at had so many more juicier 8 and 7K golfers in it than trying to stay up here with like JT. Matsuyama, Cantlay, they all seem very interesting. I don't mind going to Cantlay at 94. Him and Burns kind of entice me with their salaries. I really like Keegan Bradley this week. I know there's a lot of people out there that do, but let's just say, of all the buckets we've already looked at, there's Beau Hosler down here. Okay, perfect. This is a good example. Let's say I like Beau. I want to play Beau Hosler, and I haven't decided yet if I want to play Collin Morikawa yet or Scottie Scheffler. I think those are my two options that I really am looking into. But let's just say we go with Collin Morikawa. Now, this projection is 1 to 3. 1 to 3. Meaning I can choose up to one more golfer, but I don't have to. In that case, I don't mind going to Keegan Bradley. And if I choose these 3 golfers, I fade the rest and just live with it. I think that's a pretty good start in my opinion. I just like Beau Hosler and Keegan Bradley are almost the same golfer to me. I think they just hit it out of the cabbage better than most, especially like somewhere around here at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am or at Pebble Beach. And then maybe this is not a good time to play Collin. I don't know yet. Maybe it's a Cantlay, Bradley, Hosler start for me here. And then I just find a 10K golfer. Maybe it's Rory, or maybe I don't choose a 10K golfer. I'm not sure yet. I think I'm going to probably start lineups. By the way, Marquee Tee Times, someone said the Tee Times came through. I'll actually load those here in the next segment. It'll take some time. I'll put some music on. We'll, drown out the boredom with some kind of music. yeah, different options, different options. Now, the other one is recent form 2, and that also is a 1 to 3 bucket. And now we have Ludwig up here at 99, Sungjae at 9, and then we drop into the 8s. I don't think I'm going to play Day at 8,900. I mean, I will some, but I just don't care. Same goes with Hovland. If anything, I want to play McNeely, and I know he's probably going to get a lot of buzz this week. I like McNeely way more than I like Pendrith. And if I'm being honest with you, the $700 savings you get from McNeely from Hovland, I kind of like I like a lot too. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm not sure. I'm also not afraid to play a Ludwig. I think this is a good Ludwig golf course. So maybe if I don't start with a 10K golfer, like if we were looking at the last bucket, the recent form 1s, I liked Cantlay or Burns. Maybe I could start with like Ludwig, go to Cantlay or Burns. I think I had Keegan in there as well. So maybe I put Keegan. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll let the optimizer do its work. But there are some interesting names in this bucket. 1 to 3. It's almost a 1 to 4 bucket, by the way. It's almost a 1 to 4. And if you wanted to risk it and go with 4, I mean, there are really good names. I also don't mind Hubbard or Echeverria down here. Oof. Yeah, good names in this bucket. I think I'm just going to let the optimizer randomly select guys. I don't know if I'm actually going to myself anchor around any of these guys. I think the optimizer can just do it for me just fine. Oh, recent form 3s even 1 to 3. That's okay. That's a bit of a stretch. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But you have Corey Connors. This is also a 1 to 3 projection bucket. Connors, Clark, Thigala. Oh my God, Thigala's $7,700. Yeah, I might sign me up. One guy I will just stay away for. Max Homa's broken. I don't even think that's an overreaction. You can see it mentally. And the guy just lives off of confidence. When he's not confident, he's not playing well. And he's not playing well, which makes him unconfident or not confident. So he's just in that. He's basically Sisyphus right now. Just constantly pushing the boulder up the hill and getting nowhere. So I'm probably staying away from Homa. You got JT Poston, this is a perfect golf course for him. Davis Thompson's kind of in my, I saw somebody in the chat go, are you going to put Willie Z in the ban list? No, I'm not. That was just a fluke. Davis Thompson, though, I thought he would have played much better at the Sony or at even the American, both the Sony and the American Express, and did not. Cam Young at $7,100 is a fair price tag for that bum. I don't like Cam Young's golf swing is so terrible. That little pause that he does, I just don't see he's ever going to be consistent with that. Ever. He might be a fraud. He might be a fraud as well. I don't know. I don't like his game at all. I don't mind going back to Rye. I'm not going to talk about all these guys, honestly. They're all okay. Again, and I'll let the optimizer do its work because there's nobody that I really truly want to anchor around myself when I look at this. I'd much rather just let the optimizer take the wheel. Then we get into strokes gained 1 and 3. One of these is a 2 to 4 and the other one's a 1 to 3. The best way to do this is just clear out all your filters and then sort strokes gain A to Z. And you can see it's all color coordinated. These are your 1s, which is our 2 to 4. Yeah, and that's because there's a lot of good golfers in this bucket. You have Fleetwood. The first time we've seen Fleetwood in any of the buckets. I don't mind playing Fleetwood. Scott, to me, there's a decision to play Scotty or not. And I kind of like it. Out of all of these golfers, so like the projection's 2 to 4. What's the likelihood 2 of these 10K golfers finish inside the top 10? It's probably pretty high, but I actually would put more odds on one of them finishing 7th or worse. So 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th. So I almost just only want to play one of these guys. And let's just pretend like that goes from 2 to 4 to 1 to 3. I would much rather kind of go like Scotty, Cantlay, McNeely. There are other good golfers in here like Sahith. That's a cheap price for Sahith. I don't mind that. Adam Scott, it's fine. I'm not a huge Adam Scott fan this week. I also like Sung Jae. Okay, so I like this core of golfers here. Cantlay, Burns, Fleetwood, Im, and McNeely. I also like Scheffler. I don't mind Matsuyama, but I actually don't think Matsuyama is going to do well this week. I just had this feeling like this golf course, how it's set up for this year, or not so much just this year, but at this time of year, doesn't suit Matsuyama's game, which seems weird, right? Because he's known as like an accuracy guy, but I think because the greens are so small, and because he's kind of a, I don't know, I've just seen a lot of swings from Matsuyama where he's almost full bore all the time. Full bore. When what I mean by that, he's 100%. He's maxed on a lot of his shots. Not so much his wedge shots, but if he has a full shot, it's almost impossible to see him swing a golf club with finesse. And this is a golf course. It's not saying you can't overpower it. I'm not saying you have to finesse it. I just think it doesn't fit his game. Just from a mental perspective, I just don't think it fits his game. Now I could look silly when he goes on and wins this thing, but I got a feeling that he's just not going to play well. And by not playing well, he might finish 16th place, which is not what I'm looking for from Hideki Matsuyama. Like, I think his realm of possibilities this week is anywhere between 6th to 18th place. And it's just not good enough for me. Now, Scotty Scheffler was in the GPP winning lineup last year, 6th place. But that's because Wyndham Clark was in the 7K range and won the tournament. If Wyndham Clark doesn't win the tournament and some other high-priced guy is in there, Scotty's not helping someone win a GPP. So it's kind of my feeling on Matsuyama. I don't really want to go there. It's weird to say. I'm not a huge Cantlay fan ever since he kind of got fat and slow, like slower than usual. He just looks disgusting on the course. I don't know what it is. It's like he almost looks like he's not wearing new shirts. He's wearing shirts that he's been washing for forever in dirty water, and the white just doesn't pop as much as it used to. I don't know what it is. I just find the guy kind of gross looking. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's unfair, but it's another Pro-Am. I think he does well at a Pro-Am because he's around all of his business dudes. I actually like him at this golf course, but it's hard to stomach. Burns, I don't know that much about Burns' game right now. Fleetwood just seems like this is a perfect match, or a perfect venue for Fleetwood to get his first victory. And then there's Sung Jae and McNeely. I think they're all fine choices. Again, this is a 2 to 4 bucket, but if you do think, two of these guys in the 10K range are going to finish inside the top 10, then change this bucket to a 1 to 3 and pick one of these 10K guys and up to 2 other guys. And then the other bucket down here is strokes gained. Was it 3? I think it was 3. Yeah, strokes gained 3. And we want somewhere between 1 to 3. And you got JT, Bradley, Zalatoris. And if you want to know what a strokes gained 3 bucket is, it basically means they mash the ball off the tee, or they're very accurate, like they're off the tee stats positive, and they're terrible putters. So 2 names kind of pop out that shouldn't be terrible putters, but have been over the past year. That's Spieth and Tom Kim. They're normally good putters. So that's kind of weird to see. A lot of these other guys that you see on here, you know they're bad putters. Like you've seen it before. Gary Woodland is a masher off the tee and not a super good. He's not really the best choice. Rose used to be a strokes gain 2 or strokes gain 1 golfer, so he actually okay. The guys that are in this bucket that probably shouldn't be would be Spieth, Tom Kim, and Justin Rose. Even Patrick Rogers. Rogers was a very good putter for a very long time. And I think the rest of them actually deserve to be there. Justin Thomas, by the way, is chronically in this bucket. He's I think I've been keeping track of stats kind of since 2017, but didn't really start podcasting until 2019. Every year, every tournament, he's always a strokes gain 3 golfer. He is so bad with putting, always. It doesn't surprise me. These are a lot of you guys, a lot of golfers in this bucket are good ball strikers, bad putters. And everybody else, the 4 that I highlighted, never really used to be in this bucket, but now are for whatever reason. So who knows? Maybe this is a perfect week to jump on one of those guys. Who knows? I'm gonna let the optimizer do its work there. Okay, that's enough for the bucket system. Kind of ran that one long. We are 1 hour 22 minutes into this. Let's do our first roll call. Out of all the golfers that we've been talking about, who is your favorite golfer? That is roll call number 1. Give me your favorite golfer. Oh, and by the way, okay, so if one, give your favorite golfer, that will get you an entry into next week's giveaway. And also into the monthly giveaway, which I will also be doing. Also, double alsos. So far, there's only 65 entries into that monthly giveaway. So this will be roll call number 1. Who is your favorite golfer that we just met, that I just went over? And then number 2, the second thing, if we get to 25 likes, I'm going to give out 5 free memberships on YouTube. I'm going to gift 5 memberships if we can get up to 25 likes. So, you got AJ, Jim Lemoyne, GD Knight, Good Night, Joanne, Mr. Henson. All right. Oh, Smokey CA. What's going on, man? I'm going to throw on some music. We are going to update the Marquee Tee Times. Since Ryan Henson told me they came out. Oh, it's all good, Smokey. All good. You got a golfer that you want to tell me you want to play this week and get an entry into the giveaway? All right. So I have this input sheet, just listening and building for tomorrow. Hey man, you do you. You do you. Appreciate you being here. All right. So this is how I do it. I've got this tee time conversion page. Got to do this. Got to. Basically, what I'll do is you gotta find the little place right here to click and drag. We click and drag all the way to right here. This is a table on the PGA Tour website. Just copy it. Control C, copy. And then I go into here, control paste values only. So I have in these 2 columns formulas. This is probably the better formula right here. This formula, yeah, you can't see it. If I drill down into here, look at that formula. That formula is weeding out all of the stupid nonsense that comes with these tee times being copied over. You didn't know a lot of sites are doing this. They're trying to like make it really difficult for you to copy data, which is perfectly fine. No big deal. So basically I'm going to copy this, paste it here. I'm going to paste the values, and then we're going to sort by column H, A to Z, sort by column I, A to Z. And now I have a cleaner version of the tee times. You see how they're all nicely put together? Whereas before you had the time, CST, hole 1, Pebble Beach, USA, England, coming soon, all that stuff. Now it's cleaner. I go down until I see the ones. See the one right here? I just copy right to there. Go into tee times. I have a spot that I put it right there. Values only. And it populates all of this good stuff. I have to tell the optimizer, or tell this, I should say, the starting courses. One is Pebble, which is PB, and the other one's Spyglass Hill. So then I got to put that in here also, SH. There we go. And now, with all the calculations that it does, it tells me the group ranks of these golfers. And it's interesting. Scotty's not even in one of the top groups. I mean, he's in group 9. So anyways, I go to my DK page, and now I have all my tee times right here. I just gotta scroll down, copy all that stuff over to this page, which I never sort to make things easy for me to copy and paste. Now I have all my stuff. Now we'll go back into here, sort A to Z for my group ranks. This tells me the top groups. I always go down to group 7. Actually, I go down to group 9. And we first highlight that with a light green, and then I kind of come up to group 7, highlight this with a darker green. And now we have our Marquee Tee Times. On top of that, what I can do is just take this, because everything is in order. Everything that I do is always in order to make things in life easier, just to copy and paste. So this is all in order. These golfers are in the same order as my spreadsheet. So I can just do this easy copy and paste. Now I just got to get rid of all the double-digit numbers. And now we have our Marquee Tee Times. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. Just so you know, it's not fabricated. I don't fabricate any of that stuff. There's not really an AM PM split. I could go by starting course, but it's not that big of a deal. And now from here, I can just change this to 0 to 1 all the way down to there. This is then 2 to 4, and we keep that 0 to 6. And now we've got Marquee Tee Times. As easy as that. Simple. Okay. Well, we got to do the test. Run Optimizer, see if it works after the updates have been made. The same dummy lineup, by the way. That is your most optimal lineup. It didn't change with the Marquee Tee Times included. Just throwing that out there. There might be something special about this lineup. Scotty, Ludwig, Adam Scott, Dietrich, Sam Stevens, Johnny Vegas. Just throwing it out there. See you later. Good night. Nice to see you. Dunlap, Davis, and Stevens are projected highest 8K golfers. Are they actually in the 8K range? Sam Stevens is not in the 8K range, is he? Do you mean 7K range? Dunlap, Davis, and Stevens. Or 6K range? Dunlap, 6K. Yeah, I think they're the 6Ks, right? There's Sam Stevens. Cameron Davis. So right here, these guys. I'm never gonna fall in love with the 6K golfer. I like them. I like Stevens. I like Dunlap, but I'm not going to be too concerned about playing them. All right, now we got the Marquee Tee Times updated. Let's talk about them. Let me see. Did I get everybody? Ryan, yep. Oh, Good Night said he had to go. Before I leave, my 3 golfers are Day, Cole. Okay, I'll build those. Lombardi Lee, I need to add him. Oh, and Joanne's calling it a night. Good luck, everyone. Cantley Hosler for her. Gotcha. Oh, FanDuel. Okay. Smokey, you actually remind me. Tonight I need to build an optimizer for FanDuel. Which I will be doing that. Got to do it. Okay. This is perfect. Delete that or exit out of that. Let's talk about the Marquee Tee Times. You know what? I'm going to hit you with that transition. All right. So for the Marquee Tee Times, we want to select 2 to 4 golfers. I'm going to zoom in since we can. 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times, and we don't want to pair them up together. So I've just now highlighted every group. They're in groups of 2. If we want to take a look at how well this did in 2024, we certainly can. I'll just go ahead and put a filter on this. And it is by group rank already. Okay, here's the magic of the Marquee Tee Times. So last year, this also was a signature event. And I'm going to highlight by every 2 golfers because every 2 golfers made a group. A Marquee Tee Time group. And what you're going to notice is nobody is paired up together that are in the important lineups. So Wyndham Clark was, believe it or not, in group 2. That's crazy. He was in group 2. He won the tournament. Jason Day was 6th. So that obviously is a good finish, but he was not in the optimal lineup. He wasn't in the GPP winning lineup, and he wasn't in the Sweet Spot optimal. Ludwig, the group after him, was in the optimal lineup, the Sweet Spot optimal, as well as the GPP winning lineup. Scotty Scheffler down here was in the GPP winning lineup, as well as the Sweet Spot optimal, and then Colin Morikawa down here was in the GPP winning lineup. Morikawa was in group 6. Scotty was in group, Morikawa was in group 7. Scotty was in group 6. Ludwig was in group 3, and Wyndham Clark was in group 2. They're not playing together. None of those guys did not play together Thursday, Friday. 4 golfers. They were in the GPP winning lineups. 2 of these guys were in the optimal, Wyndham Clark and Oberg. They didn't play together. So the whole premise behind the Marquee Tee Times, and I don't know how often I've gone through this, where I say the same thing over and over and over and over again. You want 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. You don't want to pair them up together because it's like 95% now of tournaments. The optimal lineup has 2 to 4 in them, and they don't play together. It might be even higher than that. And as I scroll down, do we see golfers that played together? There's Dietrich. He did not play together with Pavon. Hoagie was also in the optimal lineup. His guy was not. And same with Hubbard down here. So no golfers were paired up with another golfer in the optimal lineup. But I only focus on the Marquee Tee Times, which are the top 9 groups in the tournament. So your number 1 group. By the way, let's talk about this right now. Scotty Scheffler and Brian Harman are down here. I imagine, I don't know why Scotty Scheffler was paired up with Harman. They might be the same FedEx Cup ranking. I have no idea why they paired them up together. That kind of sucks. I don't know. I wouldn't want to play with Brian Harman. He doesn't seem like a fun dude to play with. I don't know how much that's going to affect Scotty Scheffler, but that's worth mentioning. Okay. So Smokey, you asked what I think about Sam Stevens. Well, Sam Stevens is in the Marquee Tee Times, so that's worth mentioning. He's the only guy of the golfers you mentioned that are in the Marquee Tee Times. Well, let's go top down. Group number 1, Rory and Ludwig. Yeah, Ryan, I didn't update the web. I'll do that right now. No, the updates I made were to my spreadsheet. To get to the cheat sheet, I got to do it for myself. Go to SweetSpotDFS.com, click into cheat sheet. Page will load. Scroll down on the page, go to this cheat sheet. And I am updating it right now. There you go. That's been updated. All right, so the cheat sheet's updated. Again, you can get it on SweetSpotDFS.com under Fantasy Tools. Just find it. All right, going back. Filter on there. Group 1 is Rory and Ludwig. So if you like either one of them, or if you like both of them, here's a good reason to just select one of them. So maybe it's Ludwig, maybe it's Rory, it's up to you. Then it's Sahith and Wyndham Clark. Perfect, I mean, here. This is a perfect strategy play. I like Sahith much better than I like Clark. And I don't really want to play Wyndham Clark. It's not to say he can't play well at this event. I just don't want to play him. I like Sahith more, and this just gives me more perfect reason to play Sahith at $7,700 over someone like Wyndham Clark. Not that that was the choice ever, but if I do play Sahith, that means Clark is just automatically getting kicked out, which I am totally okay with. Now we come to a really interesting combo. Collin Morikawa and Tommy Fleetwood. If you've got convictions to play Collin Morikawa this week, but you are a fanboy of Tommy Fleetwood, I got bad news for you. The likelihood of these two guys being in the optimal lineup, which is the perfect lineup, which you most likely will have to hit this week in order to win a lot of money. Hold on. Timeout. This isn't right. Okay, I see. I see what happened. They're not paired up together. Let's do this over again. It's Collin Morikawa and Tom Kim. Oh, okay. Hold on. What ends up happening sometimes, especially with these limited field events, is we have the same number that gets ranked, which kind of stinks because this is going to push out Scotty Scheffler from the Marquee Tee Times. Let's actually take a look here. Maybe it won't. I sometimes do the actual points. So let's look here. 1959 and this 2088. Okay, so let's see here. 1959, 1998. That's not as high as Scotty's. 2038, I don't think is as high as Scotty's either. 88. Okay, we're actually going to make an update to this. Scotty's group, just Scotty alone, bumps his group up to number 2. Actually, no. Yeah, to number 2. So I'm going to make that update. 2088 is his total score. He's going to be group 2. Everybody else falls down. So Sam Stevens, Harry Hall. I mean, I can make different updates because I just saw Sahith and Wyndham shouldn't be this high. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just looking at, so my process, just the automated process, looks at these numbers over here in this column, the sweet spot rank. It adds them together and it compares them to the rest of them. So like Scheffler's the number 1 rank guy in my model. Harman's the number 55. Together, that equals 56. Well, Sam Stevens and Harry Hall are 24th and 29th. That equals 53. So that's a better number than this one. But because Scotty Scheffler's that much better, his score alone is bumping up their group way up here. Rory and Oberg are definitely in number 1. And actually, Colin Morikawa and Tom Kim would be number 3. Then I don't really care from there. Pretty darn close for the rest of them. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to actually make that change too. This will be group 4 and group 3. And now I will resort. And we have what we have. Everything matches up. It does. Okay. So I'm going to make those updates right now. I apologize, but at least you get to see what's behind the scenes. I know this is slow. Some people hate that, which I understand. I get. But we got the music playing. And then I'll update the cheat sheet as well. Yep. I have to go back into here, SweetSpotDFS.com, and paste it right here. Suppose I should do the color thing too. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about the delay, but obviously fixing mistakes is definitely worthwhile. I don't want to provide the wrong information and have you guys choosing the wrong golfers based off the wrong information. Anyways, group 1 is still Rory and Oberg. Now shoots up Scheffler and Harman. So that's going to be group 2. Group 3 is Morikawa and Kim. Group 4 is Theegala and Clark. Then it's Fleetwood and Bradley. They play nearly the same type of game. Both like to hit draws off the tee, basically hit draws into the greens also. Both pretty terrible putter. I mean, this is perfect. One of these guys, I like one of these guys for sure. I'm gonna want to play for sure. Then we have Henley and Grazerman. People like to call him Greaserman. Looking at you, Byron. Then it's Sungjae and Connors. So you got your ball strikers right here. Cantlay and McIntyre. It's going to be slow because of the Pro-Am. But if McIntyre had to deal with Cantlay's slow play without it, oof. Then we got Matsuyama and Sepp Straka. I don't really care. Another good reason maybe not to play Matsuyama this week. Anyways, okay. I'm actually going to do a quick roll call, a second roll call, because you guys have been so patient with me. This is where we're going to actually, I'm going to ask you to give me 2 to 4 golfers that you just saw from the Marquee Tee Times. Give me 2 to 4, and I'm going to give you credit, or I'm going to give you an entry. This is going to be roll call number 2. So I'm going to give you entry into the weekly giveaway as well as the monthly giveaway. So all the golfers here from here on up, give me 2 to 4 golfers to build lineups around. We're going to build some lineups shortly after I get everybody's entries. I'll put this over here. So AJ wants Thomas and Henley. So JT. Lombardi Lee. He wants Pendrith and Thomas. Tom Kim Wyndham Clark for good night. You said you left. He's back. He's back, everybody. Okay. Anybody else? Just let me know. And I will go ahead and put your name into the giveaway. I'm gonna keep that over to the side though. That's actually a better place to have it. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin these to the top. I'm gonna go ahead and do Joanne's first. I think she's one of the first people. Good night. You said Jason Day, Eric Cole, Taylor Pendrith. Before you leave, my golfers are. Was that supposed to be for a lineup? Let me know. Okay. Let's start lineups for Joanne with Cantlay. And Osler. Love it. This should be good because these are lineups that I'm probably going to want to build myself. Bo knows. Bo knows. Okay, so we have Cantlay and Hosler. All of the bucket conditionals are in here already. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put 3 minutes on the clock. I need to change. There we go. So y'all are gonna get 3 minutes. I'll build lineups for you guys. First lineup is Scotty Scheffler, Cantlay, Hosler, Scott, Adam Scott, Sam Stevens, and Johnny Vegas. We'll save that. I'm actually gonna change up the 6K ownership. I forgot to do this earlier. I'm gonna change this to 10 for these guys up top. And I'm actually gonna change it to 4%. Yeah, let's do 4%. 1 out of every 25 lineups. We can revisit one of these dudes. Okay, so the first lineup's great. Scheffler, Cantlay, Hosler, Scott, Stevens, and Vegas. Second lineup is Oberg, Cantlay, Pendrith, Hosler, Adam Scott, Cam Young. We're going to go ahead and kick out Adam Scott since that's the second time we saw Scotty in there. The different Scotty. Next group is Scheffler, Cantlay, Hosler, Dietrich, Cam Young, Billy Horschel. I actually really like that lineup. I think a lot of people are going to disrespect Cam Young this week, me included, but I'm going to have some exposure to him, and I like that lineup. Although if I see one more Cam Young lineup, I'm going to kick him out, which is right here. This lineup is fantastic. Oberg, Cantlay, Pendrith, Thigala. I already like Thigala. Hosler, and Cam Young. Now we kick out Cam Young. Great value, but don't really care. Give him the boot. Oberg, Cantlay, Finau, Henley, Hosler, Aaron Rye. Do not mind that lineup at all. That one's pretty good. Henley, yeah, that's a really good lineup. I'm most likely not going to play Finau this week either, so something like this kind of changes it up a little bit. Denny McCarthy. Unbeknownst to you guys, if Denny McCarthy wins a tournament, I have a Denny McCarthy signed golf ball that I will give away. Unbeknownst to you guys. I'll give away to one of you guys. Can't give away to all of you guys. Next group Our next lineup is Oberg, Cantlay, Finau, Henley, Hosler, Novak. Another good lineup. I'm going to kick out Finau. We're seeing a lot of Oberg with these lineups, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Another Oberg, Cantlay, Sam Burns. So now we're going 3 9s, 2 7s, and a 6. Yeah, sign me up. Even Chris Kirk. I think this is a great spot for Chris Kirk. I'll build 2 more lineups, and then we'll go on to the next one. Great lineup right here. Tom Kim, $7,800. I didn't even know that. I glossed over that one. Oberg, Cantlay, Henley, Tom Kim, Hosler, Dietrich. Yeah, sign me up. I'm going to kick out Dietrich since he's just the lowest price guy and see what the last lineup for Joanne is going to be. Adds Keith Mitchell to it. This is a sexy lineup. This is the sexiest lineup. I don't even know if we're going to find another one like this. Oberg, Cantlay, Bradley, Thigala, Hosler, and Mitchell. This seems like the best Pebble Beach Pro-Am lineup you can build. That one was sexy. All right, so those were Joanne's 10 lineups. I'll go to the next one in the list. Okay, I think we go right here. So let's see, actually, good night. Just wants Tom Kim and Wyndham Clark. All right. Oh, he wants me also provide a round 1 showdown lineup core. Interesting. I actually got a tool for that. I'll show you guys. It's not built yet, but I got a tool for it. Okay. Mr. AJ Love, you still in the chat? You ready? Last lineup is the best. I agree. All right, man. I'm going to put you on the clock once you say go. Let's go. Here we go. Timer's on, and we are building lineups. We got Scheffler, JT, Henley, Scotty, Stevens, and Hadwin. That's a sexy lineup. That's a great lineup, dude. First one out of the gate. Spicy. Oberg, Thomas, Henley, Scott, Dietrich, Young. Another spicy lineup. We add Batia to the mix. Denny McCarthy. Okay, so we got a core of 5 going on right now. Davis Thompson. I'm saving all these. I'm not switching. You let me know. Do you want someone kicked out of this group? Okay, it kind of already got kicked out, but you let me know who you didn't like out of those last ones, and we'll make sure we don't continue playing them. This one's got Oberg, Thomas, Wyndham Clark, Henley, Adam Scott, Lauer. Adam Scott is showing up quite a bit. Do you want that? I don't mind it, honestly. Could do worse. Ooh. Oberg, Thomas, McNeely, Henley, Dietrich, and Aaron Rye. Oberg, Thomas, Connors, Henley, Scott, Pavon. So if you wanted to get really different with your lineup, this is it. I don't think you'll ever get duped with this lineup. I think it's a perfect GPP winning lineup. Thomas, Cantlay, Henley, Tom Kim, Thigala, and Dietrich. If you have a 100-man contest and it's a winner take all, or even it's a 200-man contest, this is your lineup. All of these have been so good. Scott was on fire last night. Tigers Golf Stadium. Okay. Ooh, 2 6Ks. Remember what I was talking about when it came to the GPP winning lineups, the optimal and GPP winning lineups? Scheffler, Thomas are your 11K, 9K, and then 2 7s and 2 6s. I could go with another 7. That's probably what I prefer, but you anchored around Henley, so probably can't do it. This lineup is fine. This is a fantastic GPP winning lineup. Sam Stevens and Mackenzie Hughes. Byron's boy, Mackenzie Hughes. I actually do like Mac Hughes this week. Harry Hall. All right. Ludwig, JT, Henley, Thigala, Dietrich, and Harry Hall. Those are fantastic. Those were great lineups. There's so many good lineups out of that. I'm color coding these. I'm most likely going to play some of them, and the color codes mean something different to me. Yellow is kind of like your cash game. It's just caution, right? To me, that's caution. Caution's right in the middle. Red is dangerous. Green is safe. I usually like to put the red ones in my higher GPPs. Harry Hall. Yeah. I don't know what to do with Harry Hall. Maybe he gets overlooked. Who knows? All right, those were fantastic. All right, sounds good, Ryan. I won't be able to send it to you until after the stream because this one is mine and I don't have the other one updated with the Marquee Tee Times. Give me time to do that. All right, so next one. So that was AJ. Lombardi Lee, are you in the chat? He wants Pendrith and Justin Thomas. 8,300. Yep, there we go. Lombardi, let me know if you're in the chat. If so, tell me to go and we will go. Just a reminder, if anyone's new in the chat, if we get to 25 likes on the stream, I will give away 5 YouTube memberships. They'll be random. That's how YouTube does their thing. But I will nonetheless. All right, Lombardi, you let me know, man. Let's go. Timer is on the clock, or is on the clock. Timer's on the screen. Here we go. He wants Thomas and Taylor Pendrith. JT and TP. We get Thomas, Cantlay, Pendrith, Thigala, Scott, Cam Young. That's fine. That is fun. Cody Gamble, what's up, man? Just got home from work. Perfect timing. We're building lineups. If you want me to build lineups, give me 2 to 4 golfers to build around. I don't know if you can see what the Marquee Tee Times are, but I can let you know. That lineup was great, by the way. A little Denny action. So we're kind of seeing a lot of the same pathway. Thigala and Adam Scott are very popular. Ooh, we get a Hoagie lineup here. Dietrich and Thomas Hoagie. Tom Hoagie. Thomas Hoagie. I need to close out that other spreadsheet that I just opened up. Blowing things down. I want to say we already made this lineup, but it's pretty fantastic. JT, Cantlay, Pendrith. No, we didn't do any Pendrith. Thigala, Dietrich, and Batia. Love it. Bill Paul coming in too. Getting in late. Have you done Kim Clark lineups? I have not. I actually just have built like 3 lineups so far. I went through 3 requests. So you're not too far off. Thomas, Cantlay, Penrith, Thigala, Dietrich, and Harry Hall. That one's fine. Oberg, Thomas, Penrith, Henley, Scott, and Johnny Vegas. That one's fine as well. Seen very similar lineups from the last request we had in this one. The only real big difference, we didn't see really any Cantlay. We had more Oberg. But we have Cantlay in this, but we're still seeing Dietrich, Thigala, and a mix of Davis Thompson. Just a lot of these low 7K golfers. Sam Stevens with Adam Scott. I think that one's fine. Ooh, first Matty Fitzpatrick lineup. I don't hate it. We have no idea what Matt Fitzpatrick's game's like. Ryan Harmon. First Harmon lineup. With Grazer. That's another good lineup. It's different. And different is good in GPPs. Maddie, you want Lucas Glover with Lee Hodges? That's who you're going to anchor around? Okay. JT, Cantlay, Pendrith, Henley, Dietrich, Mitchell. I almost felt like I said the same names over. First Keith Mitchell lineup, I think. That's a good lineup. And last one, before the buzzer. Oberg, Thomas, Penrith, so 998. Tom Kim, Adam Scott, Billy Horsch. That's a fantastic lineup. I like that lineup a lot. All right, so that one was probably my favorite lineup. I liked this one. This is a green lineup in my opinion. Safe. Harmon's fine with Grazerman. Matty Fitzpatrick is going to be one of those red ones for me. That one's dangerous. Yeah, I got something for that, right? Danger zone. Dangerous. My pictures are all messed up.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep. You're gonna die, clown.
I actually just watched Happy Gilmore the other day. Just to have something on. I like this one. I like most of these, honestly. Let's do... I'm going to make that icky color because I don't care for it, but I want access to Davis Thompson. I'm not going to play a lot of Davis Thompson. This one is a spicy meatball. Adam Scott, Denny McCarthy. This one's pretty safe. This one. Pretty safe. All right. We'll clear that out and load up the next lineup request. Is that a good danger zone or a bad one? I think it's a good one. A good danger zone. All right, so that was Mr. Lombardi Lee. Now we go on to Good Night, which Good Night, if you're in the chat, let me know. I don't think you are. You said you were going to leave, but if you are, in the next 10 seconds, just let me know you're ready. Otherwise, I'm going to go with or without you. Tom Kim, where are you at, man? Oh, yeah, he's 78. Just crazy price tag for him. And Wyndham Clark. Lombardi Lee, you are welcome, sir. Wyndham Clark. Okay, there we are. Gosh, couldn't find the name. All right, let's go ahead and put the timer on the screen. Get into building lineups for Good Night, who I don't think is in chat. Pretty sure he's not. Cantlay, Burns, love it. Clark, Kim, Scott, Dietrich. That's a fantastic line. That's a deserving of these. Oh, Tom Kim's the low guy, so I need to actually, let's just bump him up. I don't want to continue to push him up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, good night's come back. Came back at the right time. There you go. All right, good night. Whatever you dislike, you let me know. Just tell me to kick somebody out. So this is their first lineup. Cantley, Burns, Clark, Kim, Scott, and Dietrich. This one's fine. Oberg, Cantley, Clark, Tom, Kim, Adam, Scott, Billy Horschel. I like that lineup. Ooh, we get Novak here. Philip, I will answer that right after I build lineups here. Oberg, Burns, Clark, Kim, Scott, Keith Mitchell. I like that lineup. These are good lineups. Especially if you're like hesitant of playing Scotty Scheffler. Oberg, Clark, Finau, Henley, Kim, Scott. That is a spicy meatball. That one, I'm probably going to highlight more because I like a lot of those ones. Pick out, but you wanted me to anchor around Tom Kim. Okay, I can do that. Who do you want me to anchor around? Like the pinned message up at the top? That's you, buddy. Tom Kim and Wyndham Clark. You had said before you leave your 3 golfers were Jason Day, Eric Cole, and Taylor Pendrith, but those aren't the guys that you asked me to lock in. Ooh, Maddie coming in with some good information. Scheffler just committed to the Genesis Waste Management and WM Phoenix Open. That's perfect. So he's feeling good. He's feeling good about his game. Right. And may just be fine. Okay, so good night. Can you tell me who you want me to anchor around? You said Pendrith, but I have Tom Kim and Wyndham Clark. And earlier you said Jason Day, Eric Cole with Taylor Pendrith. Let me know. So right now I have locked in Wyndham Clark and Taylor Pendrith. All right. Philip said, any key points that stood out during research portion? You have a second to recap, or I can go back and watch, which I will anyway at some point. I think the takeaway for me is obviously during the past optimal and GPP winning lineups, we saw what salary builds worked out well, and what to kind of look for this event. So just based off of salary alone, going somewhere with you basically want to put a 10K and a 9K golfer in your lineup. And then it's determining if you want a 6K in your lineup. If you do, you want to put an 8K golfer in your lineup as well. Like that's just overwhelmingly the majority of optimal, sweet spot optimal, or GPP winning lineups had that makeup. So it was basically either a 10-9, 3 to 4 sevens, or a 10-9-8 with a 6K in there. But you got to choose, do you want 2 6Ks or do you want 2 sevens and a 6, which is obviously what I advocate all the time for, is a 10-9-8 7-7-6 start. So just based off of that is fine. And then when we went over the anchor buckets, Bo Hauser stood out. That's a guy that I want in my lineups. We saw a lot of other golfers that were appearing in multiple lineups. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. Yeah, I wasn't too committed to the golfers I really wanted to play. I think that the choice, though, is like to Scotty or not to Scotty. That's usually how it always goes. Really liked Cantley, Burns, Fleetwood, like that, and Sungjae, like that group of 4 golfers next to each other. They also appeared in the buckets, so it might be worth it to Maybe check them out. Day, Pendrith, and Clark. Okay, so completely different. Day, Pendrith, and Clark. Okay. Debating on the one and done between J Day and Patrick Cantlay or Fleetwood. Yeah. You do you. I don't know if I want J Day this week. I'd much rather save J Day for one of the Texas events, like the one he won. I think the Charles Schwab Challenge is the one he won. That or the Byron Nelson. I think I'd much rather play Day there than here. I think it, like, you want more of an elite golfer. So Cantlay or Fleetwood would be my choice. All right, good night. We changed yours up. Let's go ahead and go with what we have. I don't know if you know, you can't build lineups this way. Or did we? No. I think it breaks. All right. Good night. The buckets right now, we don't want more than 2 8K golfers in them. I can break this for you. Actually, I will. All right, Cantlay, Day, Clark, Pendrith, Kim, Aaron Rye. Cantlay, Day, Clark, Pendrith, Scott, Cam Young. We add Davis Thompson to that 5. Those first 5 golfers I just mentioned. Ooh, our first Hideki sighting. Hideki Matsuyama, Jason Day, Clark Pendrith, Kim, and Brian Harmon. Not terrible. Ooh, Nico Echeverria. I don't mind that. Matsuyama, Day, Clark, Pendrith, Kim, Echeverria. I like it. Tom Kim needs to be dropped down a peg or 2. Cantlay, Day, Clark, Pendrith, Scott, JJ Spawn. That one's pretty good. We add Siwoo Kim to this one. Siwoo Kim. Where is it? It's so quiet. I wish it was louder. Did we save that one? Ooh, Mark Hubbard. I don't mind this. Cantlay, Day, Clark, Pendrith, Henley, and Mark Hubbard. That one's pretty good. We add Jaeger to this one. You know what? Jaeger's not a bad play here. Johnny Ooh, first Collins sighting, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, first Collins sighting. Morikawa, Day, Clark, Pendrith, Adam Scott. So Adam Scott's just a staple in all of these lineups. I'm going to give him the boot and then see what we can get. Time is up. Okay, last lineup. We get Russell Henley, Adam Hadwin. I don't mind Hadwin at this event. Let's try one more. Patrick Rogers. Okay. Hey, I don't mind that either. Cool. All right, so that was a few lineups for you. Good night. I'll review those a little bit later. Let's see here. Timer off, and then I need to find next one on the list. Ryan Henson, are you still in the chat, sir? Says he wants Kawa, Cantlay, Henley, and Nick Taylor. Wow. 4 dudes. Henley and who? Nick Taylor. Nicholas. I'm going to have to probably give him a little bit of a boost. Let's do 150. All right, Ryan is here. You ready to go, man? Let me know who you want kicked out of your lineups. Mr. Bizzle, what's going on, man? Was good. Just double checking. Okay, Philip, can you put... Philip, if you're still in the chat, can you put your duo in the chat and you'll be next? Yeah, if you could put your lineup in next, that you posted up high. I think what you have, Kim and Clark, is that what it was? Yeah, Kim and Clark. And then Maddie C, if you're still in the chat, you said Lucas Glover with Lee Hodges. Could you post that in the chat as well? Or whoever you want your lineups to be built around. Thank you, Philip. John, if you... I'm doing good, by the way. Hope you're doing good as well. If you want lineups built, give me 2 to 4 golfers you want to build lineups around. All right, Ryan, we're going to start lineups right now. With or without you. We get Morikawa Cantlay, Mav McNeely, Henley, Nick Taylor, and Cam Young. Yeah, Cam Young, kind of gross, but not bad. We're going 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. Morikawa Cantlay, Pendrith, Henley, Taylor, Keith Mitchell. Don't hate it. All right, Matty C. Sounds good, man. Morikawa, Cantlay, Finau, Henley, Nick Taylor, Sam Stevens. That one's pretty sexy. I actually like that one. That one I like. I'll actually play some music with that one. It's a little late, but this is for that last one. Morikawa, Cantlay, Finau, Henley, Taylor, Rye. Don't hate it. Kind of like it, actually. We add Denny McCarthy to the mix. Again, don't hate that. Kind of capped. I want to see like a high 8K golfer. Novak. All right. Should be able to grab one of those higher 8K golfers. Cam Davis gets added to this lineup. So Tony Finau. I'm going to kick out Tony Finau. I don't know how you feel about that, but we're going to kick him out. And we change it up just a little bit. I love it. Morikawa, Cantlay, Henley, Thigala, Benny Ann, Nick Taylor. Sure, let's play some music for that one. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention how tilted I was last week. I was feeling pretty confident with all those great lineups we built with Willie Z and Willin. Yeah. Ryan, if you don't want me to kick Tony Finau out, I can put him back in. I wasn't getting any feedback from you. Morikawa, Cantlay, Henley, Thigala, Nick Taylor, Davis, Thompson. That one's fine. Yeah, Philip, I'd be tilted too, man. Morikawa, Cantlay, Lowry. First Lowry spotting. Henley, Hoagie, Nick Taylor. Ooh, and Hoagie. Okay. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Morikawa, Cantlay, Fleetwood, 1099, 776 with Matthew Pavone. I love it. We add Wyndham Clark to this lineup with Mark Hubbard, and I'll do one more because that one was a good lineup. Those last few were pretty good. Hadwin, that's fine. I'll do one more. Steven Jaga. Okay, that one's fine. I think those were some good lineups. And Ryan, when you get the optimizer, I think if you start with that core, you can build many more good ones. I think it's pretty endless with those combinations. But those were good. Those were good. Thank you, Ryan, for the suggestion. All right, so we are going to go with Philip next. He wants Wyndham Clark and Thomas Kim. At least I think that's what you want. I'm pretty sure that's what you want. Tommy Boy Kim. John Bizzle wants Hideki and McCarthy. That's a unique lineup. I don't think anybody is asked to anchor around those. All right. So on deck is Maddie C and then John Bizzle. All right. So we got Clark and Kim. Are you ready? That's it. Perfect. Here we go. We get Scheffler, Clark, Kim, Scott, Taylor, and Samuel Stevens. I gotta actually drop Taylor's. Yeah, let's run this again. Oh, actually changed it up. I need to add something to Kim. Cantlay, Burns, Clark. Already like that start. Kim, Scott, and Dietrich. Okay. Let's give him a bit of a boost. I'll run it again and that'll kick him out. That'll kick out Dietrich, that is. All right. Ludwig, Cantlay, Clark, Tom Kim, Scott, and Billy Horschel. We are coming across duplicates. Andrew Novak, another duplicate. Oberg, Cantlay, Clark, Kim, Scott, Novak. Oberg, Burns, Clark, Kim, Scott, Stevens. That's another duplicate. Interesting. I don't think anybody... You like Dietrich? I can bring Dietrich back. We could anchor around Dietrich. Oberg, Burns, Clark, Kim, Scott, Mitchell. That's another. Okay, hold on. Did we already have a Clark Kim duo? Oh, we did. It was Good Night's first. He asked for that. Tom Kim one. Yeah, he did ask for that. But we only built like 5 lineups with it. So we might actually be done with our... Okay. Yeah, you can lock Dietrich. Sounds good. Let's see. I'm going to give a 100-point bonus to him just so we don't have to... I'll build you like 5, or I'll build you like 7 lineups with this. Who do you have projected to win the whole thing? What's going on, Alex? First time seeing you here. Projected to win the whole thing. I mean, if you're asking me to go out on a limb, I'm going to say Scotty Scheffler. Which is really going on a limb. Yeah, I honestly think it's gonna be, if Scotty is fine, he's gonna win this tournament. And if he never had his hand injury, this would have been a tournament that would have pegged him to win. If you want me to kind of dig a little bit deeper, try to find someone that might be a bit of a long shot. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a stupid answer. That's Bo Hosler. That's a stupid answer. A more practical answer is Tommy Fleetwood. Golfers that I don't think are going to win this tournament, Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa. I don't think either of those two are going to win this golf tournament. I also don't think Justin Thomas is going to win this golf tournament. I don't think Sungjae Im or Jason Day is going to win this tournament. I don't think Hovland or Connors are going to win this tournament. I don't think Zalatoris, Pendrith, Finau are going to win this tournament. I don't think Jordan Spieth is going to win this tournament. And then it doesn't really matter after that. So the guys that I didn't name, I think Oberg has a chance to win. I think Matsuyama does. Cantlay, Burns, Fleetwood. I think they all have chances to win this tournament. I think Keegan Bradley has a good chance to win this tournament. But yeah, the other names, I think that's probably what you'd rather hear more, are golfers I just don't think are going to win. My 2 cents. Don't think Scotty wins. He has to be a little rusty. Here's my this isn't going to be like a hot take or an original take, but I'm just going to double down on what people think or other people have thought. So I got a buddy who's just like, man, everybody just thinks Scotty's the next Tiger. I don't think he's the next Tiger. Tiger Woods had such a focus on being the best golfer in the world that he almost willed himself to win. This is going to be bold to say. I think Scotty Scheffler can just win in his sleep. I don't think he needs to have focus. The way that guy plays golf is so effortless. There's like no effort to how he plays golf. How he looked last year was insane. Like the US Open, that was kind of a surprise. The PGA Championship, listen, he got arrested. He had to go through all that, whatever, and still came out in what, top 10 did? He got 6th place or something like that. He even got a top 20 or a top 10 finish at the US Open after coming out pretty rusty. I just think like the guy doesn't even have to try. And he's just one of the best golfers in the world. Doesn't even have to try. Yeah, okay, so they mentioned Tiger. Okay, so Scotty would need to retain #1 status until 2035 or something like that. I thought to myself, I'm like, that's 10 years from now. Okay, I've also said this to a buddy of mine. The only way Scotty doesn't retain his elite status just as a player is if, one, he no longer loves the game, which is possible. 2, he has a bigger role in his life. He has cited many times that his faith is the most important thing to him. So he could quit golf for God. Unlikely, but could. 3, some crazy accident could pull him away from golf. Like we all, I mean, like this little hand surgery that he needed was a freak accident that I don't think is going to really affect his game long term. But it just reminded me like nothing is for certain in life. We don't know what we don't know. Scotty could just, I mean, I'm not throwing this into the ether. Just anything can happen to Scotty. Anything can happen to Scotty that pulls him away from golf. So those are the only reasons I think Scotty will those are the only ways that I think Scotty would never retain number one for as long as Tiger could. He could develop the yips, absolutely could, but I don't think that really matters with his putting, to be quite frank with you. His putting is already pretty yippy. Like, how worse could it get? Yeah, it's almost scary, and it's funny because his iron from the fairway metrics are not great, and his putting was questionable. He just always is in contention. He just... what I've said about Scotty's driving, you watch how he brings the club up and how he comes down. There's like almost no face rotate. I mean, there is, but it's always in control. Like you know the center of that club face is coming down behind the ball. His dispersion probably has to be the best on tour. Like if we all measured it, and I could be completely wrong with this, but when it comes to just his driver, his dispersion with his driver has to be the narrowest dispersion, and same goes with his irons. You said not super great. I'm surprised by that, but oh, okay. Actually, you know what? I will be doing a strokes gain video somewhere down. I've said this before. I will be doing a strokes gain video in the future. It will. You kind of mentioned some, or you brought something to my attention that I kind of want to. I would mention in this video. So his fairway metrics, irons from the fairways, the guy is usually always pin high, and he misses on the safe side of the hole. It's like he has an insane hit rate of finding the fat side of the green and not being super close. So with strokes gain metrics, the more you're in the fairway, the less likely your approach stats are going to be good. Just throwing that out there. It's not always true. When people get hot, they're just hot. But your best iron players are usually, like statistic wise, are usually erratic drivers. Like they find the rough. So, and the rough isn't built the same at every golf course. So if someone smashes a ball and just finds the first cut of rough, that's counted as being in the rough. If they're 100 yards away from the green, depending on what angle they have into the green, did you know that's the equivalent of hitting it from 150 yards 150 yards away from the green in the fairway? So 50 yards back in the fairway is the equivalent of, actually it's 90 yards away from the hole in the rough. So 60 yards difference. Some people don't understand how strokes gain stats are calculated. Scotty's mostly in the fairway and he misses on the safe side. He's always in contention because he's not making stupid mistakes. He's not making big bogeys like doubles, triples, or worse. He's playing smart golf. It's boring. He always has, not always, but he has a lot of birdie looks. His green and reg percentage is probably pretty high, but you know, all the data scientists, all the data nerds out there are going to be like, wow, his iron play isn't as good as it used to be. It's like, dude, he's still hitting 16 of 18 greens. And yeah, his putting stats are terrible. And yeah, his approach stats aren't as good as they should be. But he's also not making any bogeys. He's not making any doubles or whatever. And he's just playing smart golf. Your metrics are never going to show what smart golf looks like. So, my 2 cents. All right. I want to get done with the rest of these. So we did Clark, Kim. Oh, Philip, I'm going to build you like 6, 7 more. Honestly, I think Tom Kim has good chances, isn't he? I'm not quite there yet with Tom Kim. You know, actually, yeah, I guess I don't mind Tom Kim, to be honest. I still think like Tom Kim is an attention seeker. Like he's a validation seeker, and he's doing a lot of things for validation, but he did play well at the TGL, and he has been playing well recently. So yeah, I don't hate it. Okay, let's build some more lineups here. I'm going to build you 7 more. Once this gets to 81, then we'll move on to, I think, maybe John. Now, Wyndham Clark is getting the boot. A lot of these have Sam Burns or Cantlay in them, so I think what I want to do... Did we have a D-Tree lineup there? We did. Let's kick out Sammy Burns. Yeah, Philip. Yeah, and I don't disagree. First McElroy lineup. There we go. Wyndham Clark, Henley, Tom Skim, Adam Scott, and Thomas Dietrich. I love it. Cantlay, Fleetwood, Clark, Kim, Scott, Dietrich. I'm gonna kick out Adam Scott here if I see him one more time. We'll have to kick him out. Scheffler, Clark, Henley, Tom Kim, Dietrich, Johnny Vegas. All right. 4 more lineups. Cantlay, Jason Day, Clark, Henley, Kim, Dietrich. Don't mind it. Let's kick out. Kind of want more opportunities with Jason Day. So let's go ahead and kick out Henley. See what we can build. Cantlay, Fleetwood, love it. Clark, Kim, Dietrich, Tom Hoagie, don't hate it. Oberg, Cantlay, Clark, Kim, Dietrich, Echeverria, love it. And last one. These have been pretty good, by the way. Cantlay, Fleetwood, Clark, Kim, Hauser. There we go. Just ended on with Bo Hauser. Perfect. That was a spicy meatball. Go ahead and highlight that. There's a bunch of other ones I want to highlight. We'll just do those for now. I'll go through it again and look at it. All right, Mr. Bizzle, are you here, sir? There's John. When you're done, can you order the saved lineups with the highest metric? Ooh, yeah, I can do that. Oh, actually. I've got Maddie C. Maddie C's first. Maddie C, are you still in the chat? Fleetwood? Where is he? 9,200, right? 9,100. Fleetwood, Lee Hodges, and Glover. You lint liquor. What I like to call Glover. All right, let's go 200 for both of these guys. Got to give them a little bit of a boost in order for them not to be hated by the optimizer. I think that'll do just fine. We'll bump down Dietrich. I believe he even needed a boost. And Tom Kim. Tom the Tank Engine Kim. All right. Maddie C is here. Yeah, John, I'll get to you. I'll get to your lineups after. Maddie C's was before you. All right, man. I'm gonna put 3 minutes on the clock, and we're gonna get to lineup building. See what we get. I think we're gonna get Scotty in all of these lineups. Oh, and it breaks right away. All right, let's take a look. Why did it break? I know why. We can fix this. I only have one low 6K. That's not even a rule. It's just one of my personal rules. So back on the clock. Scheffler, Fleetwood, Day, Tom Kim, small hands Tom. Hey, by the way, this was the Genesis. I know Genesis is going to be in the future. This tournament was the genesis of Small Hands Top Kim. Just so you guys know. Scheffler, Fleetwood Day, Benny Ann, Lee Hodges, Lucas Glover. It's pretty good. And then it breaks. I think that's because of salary. I'll open it up just a little bit. 49.2. Scheffler, Fleetwood Day, Cam Young, Hodges, and Lucas Glover, leaving $700 on the table. That's a lot of money. Let's see what else can... I think I know what the issue is. It's trying to make sure it chooses a 7K golfer. I'm gonna just open it up and just say we don't have to choose a 7K golfer. There we go. Morikawa, Oberg, Fleetwood, Lowry, Hodges, and Lucas Glover. Not bad. You broke it. It has to be a good sign. Maybe. Morikawa, Oberg, Fleetwood, Straka, Hodges, Glover. Surprised no 2 10Ks are popping up. Oberg, Morikawa, Fleetwood, Zalatoris. So that's a first Zalatoris sighting. Hodges and Glover. It's not terrible. Bobby Mack over Hodges. Okay. JT Cantlay, Fleetwood. So 3 9Ks. Jason Day is an 8K. All right. You want, so not Lee Hodges, but we want Mr. Bobby Mack. Bob McIntyre. Where you at, buddy? Right here. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. This will help out a lot. Oberg, Thomas, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Dietrich, and Glover. That one's pretty sexy. I got to give Oberg a little, or not Oberg, but McIntyre a little bit of a boost. I'll give you, I'm still going to build you 5 more lineups. Sometimes this happens. Yeah, I'll build you 5 more. So actually 6 more. Once it gets to 90, we're good. We get Oberg, Thomas, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Dietrich, and Glover. That's pretty good. Actually, that's a... Oh, we already saved that one. Sam Stevens gets replaced. Let's go 49.6. Thomas Hoagie. Oberg, Thomas, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Hoagie, Glover. Lovely. That's a great lineup. Akshay gets replaced in there from Hoagie. That's pretty good. So we got kind of a core 5 going on, which that core 5, it's not terrible. Harry Hall. Yeah, you have a core 5 right now. Might kick out. Now we have Denny McCarthy. All right, let me do like 2 more. I'm going to kick out Thomas. And we get Scheffler, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Adam Scott, JJ Spawn, and Lucas Glover. 1 more. Completely changed. Oberg, Morikawa, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Mitchell, Glover. 2 6Ks. All right, I'm curious. 1 more. Scheffler, Burns, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Glover, Hadwin. Wow. Okay. That one is very spicy. Okie doke. Alrighty. Sweet, Maddie. I'm glad to pop your cherry and build some lineups on the channel. All right, Mr. Bizzle. Hideki and D. McCarthy. Okay, so Decky, I gotta replace some values. Down here to Glover. And you wanted McCarthy. Probably gotta give him a bit of a boost. Give him a 100-point boost. Okay. On your ready, Mr. Bizzle. You let me know. Maddie, is this your first time watching the show, or have you seen previous ones? Okay. Scheffler, Matsuyama, Scott, Young, McCarthy, Sam Stevens. That's pretty sexy. And 9, 3 7s, and a 6. It follows the optimal lineup strategy pretty well. Cool. Oberg, Matsuyama, Finau, Thigala, Scott, and Denny McCarthy. So hopefully we see you more, Maddie. I like to incorporate a lot of my audience. Like, if you got a question, I'll answer it no matter what. Oberg, Matsuyama, Keegan, Scott, Dietrich, McCarthy. What a sexy lineup. Holy hell. Gotta play that. Scheffler, Matsuyama, Grazerman, Scott, McCarthy, Pavon. Just anchoring around Hideki creates so many different lineups. Although Adam Scott's getting stuck here. I don't know if you like him that much. Oberg, Matsuyama, Burns, 3 9s, 2 7s, and a 6. Okay. I like that lineup. Oberg, Matsuyama, Burns, Scott. Okay, adding all your lineups. Was down in Florida. All I could do was DFS and found your channel in the algorithm. Live in upstate New York. It's cold as heck here right now. I live in northern Minnesota. Well, actually, no, I live in the Twin Cities now, but I'm in Minnesota. So I know what cold is. But hey, I'm glad the algorithm got you on the channel. I'm waiting for Bizzle to tell me what he wants with Adam Scott. I'll give you a couple lineups, John. A couple more after the timer goes. Kick Scott. Okay. JT, Matsuyama, Cantley, Dietrich, Ooh, another great lineup. Oof. Hot damn. These decky lineups are looking good. Oberg, Matsuyama, Cantley, Grazerman, McCarthy, Justin Rose. Wow, where these lower 6K golfers, where were they? I wonder why none of the other lineups were like putting Rose in the lineup in them. Scheffler, Matsuyama, Thigala, Dietrich, McCarthy, Vegas. Love it. Hadwin, that's fine. I'll build up into 105, I think, right? Is that fair? Yeah. I'll give you 3 more lineups. Chris Kirk with Grazerman, Oberg, Matsuyama. Kick Scott. We did. We kicked him. JT, Matsuyama, Cantlay, Dietrich, McCarthy, Horschel. John, I feel like you might be a little behind on the podcast, on the stream. Morikawa, Matsuyama, Clark, Dietrich, McCarthy, Keith Mitchell, 10-9-8-7-7-6. Lovely. I want to build one more. I'm curious. JT, Matsuyama, Cantlay, Dietrich, McCarthy, and Novak. Okay. These have been some good lineups. Oberg, Matsuyama, Henley, Kim. Beautiful. Dietrich and McCarthy. Yeah, that one's perfect. We get towards the end of the night. Usually it's like the last lineups to be built tend to be the smoothest. This one's great too. Thomas, Matsuyama, Cantlay, Lowry, McCarthy, Hughes. That one's pretty good. Lots of spicy meatballs. Yeah, these are all good, dude. All of these. Okay. I'm gonna take the timer off. I'm gonna save these off to the side. I like keeping them in order, but because John so nicely asked to rank order these, we're gonna do that. So, by the points, he wants these rank ordered, and I will talk about them. So, custom sort, column J, largest to smallest. Your best lineup of the night isn't even highlighted. The top lineups aren't even highlighted. This is probably why I don't win any GPPs. Or it's been a while since I have. Oh my goodness, dude. All right, so the top lineup is Patrick Cantlay, Tommy Fleetwood, Wyndham Clark, Tom Kim, Adam Scott, Thomas Dietrich. I mean, that is a good lineup. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why. Maybe it was because I was going to go back when I was building lineups and just be like, yeah, some of these are really good. The next one too, the one Rory McIlroy lineup we built. McIlroy, Clark, Henley, Kim. So whoever had the Clark Kim lineups, this is right down your alley. I will say this too. Hold on, timeout. I will say this. I did update some scores so we didn't have to kick people out. So that might be working here. It might not. Well, for Tom Kim, for sure it is. These are when he was 10, when I had him over 1,000. So we can deduct 100 points from these lineups, and they'd be like 62.91. So they would probably be down here, to be truthful with you. Any of the Tom Kim lineups, he definitely got 100, if not $150 or 150 point boost. So anyway, but either way, they're still good. The one that left, these were all boosted too, with Lucas Glover and Lee Hodges. So yeah, it's difficult to say what the true score is for these guys because I had to boost some of them up just so the optimizer didn't try to kick them all the time. But I mean, these ones up here were, these look fantastic. Some of these, I don't mind Glover or Hodges. They're not reflecting the correct sweet spot score. Because I had to give Hodges a 200 point boost and I had to give Glover a 200 point boost. So that's 400 added points to this score. I'm just eyeballing these to see which ones I think are pretty decent. Like this one is pretty good. This was another one of the, this is a Glover lineup. Actually, let me spicy meatball that one. That's Oberg, Thomas, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Dietrich, Glover. I think that one's fine. I mean, that one's, it should be rated as one of the better ones. I actually don't mind this one either. Oberg, Cantlay, Clark, Kim. Pretty good. Morikawa, Oberg, Fleetwood. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the rest of them are boosted. Oberg, Thomas, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Hoagie, Glover. Yeah, that one's good. Oberg, Clark, Finau, Henley, Kim, Scott. That one's fine. Oberg, Cantley, Clark, Kim, Dietrich, Echeverria. I like that one. I think Echeverria is he's, I wouldn't even so much, I'm going to add sneaky and scary together. He's snary good. Like, it's scary how good he's been, and it's been sneaky. He's snary good. Or, yeah, I don't want to do it the other way. Skeeky? Nah, snary good. He's snary good. Oberg, Thomas, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Batia, and Glover. That's another good lineup. Okay. I have now been... I've been not motivated, inspired to see how, okay, this is if all things point. Actually, let me build a lineup that I kind of saw earlier. So it was Cantlay, and this is from going through the buckets, the bucket system when we were talking about this. So it was Cantlay, Bradley, and Hosler. These three guys. Let's see what gets built with them. Very curious. Starts with Oberg, Cantlay, Bradley, Thigala, Hosler, and Mitchell. Don't mind that. By the way, this lineup has already been built. Somebody built this lineup. Okay. I'm going to kick out... Oh, man. I do like Oberg. I might kick out Oberg. And I get Cantlay, Victor, Hovland. The first Hovland lineup of the night. Bradley, Grazerman, Thigala, and Hosler. Yeah, that one's fine. I like that one. I'm going to force it to choose a 10K golfer. You must choose a 10K. And it goes Rory, Cantlay, Bradley, Grazerman, Hosler, Hadwin. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about Grazerman. I don't want... Whoa. Scheffler, Cantlay, Bradley, Hosler, Echeverria, EVR. Yeah, okay. That one's spicy. Like that one. McIlroy, Cantlay. Okay, so Cantlay's probably not... Doesn't work out for me when I'm building these lineups. Like, I don't... Okay. Maybe I kick him out. And I have the optimizer choosing 10 and a 9. And I'm going to let the optimizer pick it for me. And we go McIlroy, Burns, Bradley, Grazerman, Hosler, and Mac Hughes. Like, I don't mind Mac Hughes. I'm going to bring him back, though, because I like Mac Hughes, and I don't want to waste him on a lineup with Grazerman. Not that I have really that much against Grazerman. I just don't want to play Grazerman. Hey, if you haven't liked the stream yet, 8 more likes, and I will give away 5 memberships on YouTube. So if you're in here and you haven't liked the stream yet, if we can get up to 25, you might be a winner of free membership on the YouTube channel, which gives you access to emojis and members only videos. I do those every Wednesday night, by the way. McIlroy, Cantlay, Bradley, Hosler, Mitchell, Horschel. That one's not terrible. I don't mind it. I already created it. Okay. Let's kick out Horschel. Johnny Vegas. Okay, so it's McIlroy, Cantlay. Okay, Cantlay's just showing up. I'm not even like forcing it to. All right. Ooh, I have to choose between Keegan Bradley or Tommy Fleetwood. I was just gonna say, why isn't Fleetwood being chosen? That's why. Vegas. I'm gonna actually give Hosler a little bit of a boost here. Johnny Vegas will get the boot. Two $6,900 golfers don't really care. McIlroy, Cantlay, Bradley, Hosler, Hoagie. That one's fine. All right, we're gonna say no to Cantlay. Cantlay's showing up a ton, by the way, a ton. I want to see some like love for Scheffler, but that ain't happening. It's a good lineup here. All right, I'm kicking out Rory. Give me something new, optimizer. Come on. There we go. Ooh, what a sexy lineup. Scheffler, Burns, Bradley, Hosler, Dunlap, Knapp. Dunlap, Knapp. Or you put them together and it's Dunlap. Stupid, I know, but it works. Echeverry and Lauer, sign me up. I like Lauer at this golf course. Okay, there we go. Here we go. We're getting to the twilight hours and hitting some good ones. Hubbard and Glover, yep, sign me up. Dunlap and Brendan Todd. We ain't playing Brendan. Ain't happening. Hubbard and Patrick Rogers, sign me up. Ooh, I like that lineup. 10-9-8-7-6-6. Kevin Yu. I love it. And then it breaks. Okay, that's cool. I'm cool with it ending right here. All right. Done building lineups for the night. I don't know who's still in chat, but someone asked me to do Showdown. I do want to showcase something that I'm building, that I'm working on. Might be a little bit difficult to see. I can zoom in. So this is my Power BI. Yeah, it's not going to work as well as I want it to. We can do that. Probably do that. Maybe zoom in still. Okay, sure. So I've been working on all these different reports. I'm doing round by round stuff, so you can see round 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, it's Harris English, the Farmers Insurance Open. It you know, shows all of the strokes gained that he had off the tee approach stuff. I just don't know what I'm putting right here as of yet. We'll figure it out. I haven't decided. I can add as many filters as I possibly want up here. And not sure. Ooh, someone just came in the chat. Any word? Do you want me to see how that looks in the optimizer? We can do that. So you had Woodland, Thomas, Scheffler. So Scheffler, Thomas, McNeely. Oh, I forgot about McNeely. That's another. Okay, so McNeely for me. If I'm not playing Keegan Bradley in the 8K range, I'm probably playing McNeely, which allows me to then play Tommy Fleetwood. So Scheffler, Fleetwood, McNeely could be dangerous. Razorman, McIntyre. McIntyre, Grazerman. Let's see, that's and then you want Woodland. Gary of the Woodlands. All right, let's take a look. I'll run the optimizer and we can check out what it looks like in the. Did I put that in right? Are you just asking about those golfers? Obviously, this doesn't work. We're way over the price limit. 1098. Oh, is this FanDuel? Are you? Are these FanDuel prices? Like this works in FanDuel? If so, that's perfectly fine. We can still use this right here. So it fits within the last year ones. We want at least 2. We are over with the last year 6s. So golfers who did not play here last year. Let's see, does it really matter though? Okay, so last year's 6s, 0 to 2. Yeah, we probably just only want 0 to 2. So a little over with that bucket. We're good with last week 6s and all the other buckets there. That's fine. We're good here. We are good here. Good here. We're good here. We're good here. Yeah, that's good. Outside of the last year 6, which, hey, you know, there are mold breakers. There are buckets that can fail any given time. So I think that one's fine. Yahoo. Okay, sounds good. So it doesn't really matter if we're over the salary cap. It's just mostly looking at this. Okay, so if you wanted to follow within the criteria that I have, this is bucket system. It's just reviewing top 10 finishes at this event and comparing it against the field that we have this year and trying to determine how many golfers from each of those buckets will finish inside the top 10. I do have a max of 2 where we have 3 golfers who did not play last year in this lineup that we just built. So we can look at some of these golfers who fit that. And we have Grazerman, McIntyre, and I imagine Woodland and Woodland. Okay. So those are the 3 golfers who did not play here last year. So basically you can make pivots however you want to. Like, I'm going to go ahead and just take out Woodland. I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to 55,000 since salaries don't matter. And actually, it might matter from Yahoo. I'll tell you someone you can change to. Yeah, we probably want to switch this to 52. Okay. So a little flip up would be like Scheffler, Thomas, McNeely, Grazerman, McIntyre. So those 5 guys that you mentioned, but switching out Woodland for Mackenzie Hughes. So that would be a pivot you could do. You don't have to, but that would fit under all of the buckets that I have. The salaries don't matter for what you and I are trying to achieve for on my optimizer. Or Steven Yeager could be another suitable replacement. So Hughes, Yeager. Let's see, who else can we get? Probably not Pavon, but if you want to. Ben Griffin could be a replacement. I rather prefer him on Bermuda courses. Bezzy, Christian Bezainhout. I think that one's fine. Hadwin. Okay, not terrible. Obviously like Woodland better. Oh, Justin Rose is a good replacement. Yeah. So those are replacements for Woodland. Let's do a replacement for one of the other guys. Here, let's just do like Bobby Mack. And let's get closer to our salary. I'm sure it probably starts to even out, I imagine, the higher price these guys get. Eric Cole could be a replacement. Yeah. Let's go back up to 2. Thomas Dietrich. If you can switch out to Thomas Dietrich, that would work. And really, this would work with Grazerman also. It'd be pretty darn close. Cam Young, I'll do 2 more. Tom Kim, if you can make that switch, that's a pretty good one. From Razorman to Tom Kim.
The Ergo Smart Base from Tempur-Pedic automatically responds to snoring.
Already hit a commercial, dang. Denny McCarthy. Those aren't terrible. And just to see if anything changed between Razorman and Mac. Okay, so actually those were replacements for McIntyre. These are replacements for Razorman. Dietrich, yet again. Dietrich's a great replacement for either of those 2 guys. Cam Young, again. If you don't like Cam Young, that's totally fine. I don't like Cam Young either. Ooh. Did I do something? Don't tell me you're gonna. Okay. Tom Kim. So those 3 golfers were replacements. Perfect replacements for both McIntyre and Razorman. And then Denny McCarthy. So Denny McCarthy's kind of in the mix for all replacements, whether it's Woodland, Razorman, or McIntyre. And Benny Ann. Okay, cool. Hopefully that was some help. You don't have to change your lineup, by the way. It was just the one bucket, just the one. And there are times the buckets fail. More often than not, I've got 36 buckets. You will see 30. I mean, last week, 34 out of 36 were correct. The week before, 36 out of 36 were correct. This year, I haven't seen anything lower than 33. And last year, I mean, it was on a hot streak. So you didn't really see anything lower than 35 out of 36 for a long time. Like there were some 34s, some 33s, but most of the time they're pretty spot on. And those are projections of inside the top 10. So it's what I project golfers from each bucket will finish inside the top 10. So you can do with whatever you want. I'm not saying you have to do anything. Just providing some boundaries, I guess. I don't know. Some filters. All right. To bring up what I had. Okay. So this is one page. Another page is this one. I should have asked this earlier from people. Anyone in the chat, your preference. Do you like these black boxes, or would you much rather see these white ones? I think the white ones are easier on the eyes. But just to show what this all looks like. Some hidden. Okay, so I can hide these. Show how it would look. Like I would probably do something similar to this, but it wouldn't be right there in the corner. It would probably be like right here. And basically what you see is round 1 average, round 2 average, round 3 average, round 4 average, low rounds for each of those rounds, average finishing position. And the whole purpose of this tool would be, so who was it? Someone asked, oh, it was Good Night. Good Night asked me to do like a showdown thing. I don't have this week's field loaded in here, and I've been messing around with having like this week's field versus just historic data. I haven't figured out how to link them yet, so I haven't been able to get there. I think I know how to do it, but just haven't gotten around to it. But anyways, let me get this over. Want to have this kind of close, the same way. All right, so basically what this tool is going to be able to provide you is if we had this year's field loaded in here as opposed to the historic data. So right now I have Jordan Spieth, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am loaded in here. Well, let's just use Jordan Spieth for now, just for this whole purpose. We can see what his round 1 average is. It's 69. It's not great. His lowest was 65. So on this tool, what you could do is sort and just see when that was. So he shot 65 one time, 66 second time, 67, 68, 68, 68. Now it's a par 72. And you can see this is all at AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, not the US Open. So we have this in here. That's great. Again, I don't have this week's field in here, but what you could do is compare his round 1 average to the rest of the rounds that he plays in. I will also have I'll also have kind of like a comparison to what his average round of golf is at most tournaments. That will be kind of skewed a little bit because there's some par 70s, 71s. This is a 72. But we could probably filter down on par. So that actually would work out too. We can do a lot of different filtering that we want. So I can't do a full scope, you know, like what Good Night's asking for, because I know Scotty Scheffler hasn't even played this tournament that much. So he played last year, shot a 69 in round 1. That's the same average round that Jordan Spieth does. Did you miss a roll call? I didn't do a third one, no. We can do a roll call right now. Just say good luck in the chat. It's all I need from you. We can do a roll call. I'm gonna add people from the last. We'll add Maddie C, Philip Hall, who else? John. I think that's probably it, right? Yeah. So roll call 3 if you're in the chat and you want an entry into the weekly giveaway next week as well as the monthly giveaway. Just say good luck. Just put good luck in the chat. Yeah, I think I got everyone. All right, so we have AJ Love and Lombardi Lee. Cool. I think you're the two from last week that were in here as well. Okay. So what can I do? I wish I could load in this week's. Actually, I can. It's not going to be the way that I want it to be. But I'm going to put in SS Golfer, and I'm going to go into this week. We're going to change out the golfer name that's in there. That one. There we go. This is the field loaded in this filter. Perfect. So let's take a look. I'm just going to rifle through these. Who has the best? Okay, so Sung JM does not. 7150. Is that true? Oh boy. So many names. I don't think that's gonna work. Jason Day. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Oh, it actually is showing all of the names. Jason Day, round average is 68.64. Lowest was in round 2. Victor 69.67. Corey Connors is 71. Wyndham Clark is 70.25. Keegan Bradley is 70, so not Bradley. Zalatoris is 68. Low is 67. Pretty good, Zalatoris. Pendrith, no. Finau, no. Finau's not very good on this course. McNeely, not even. He warms up as he goes throughout. Rory, no. Straka, no. Shane Lowry, no. Jordo, no. Henley, no. Razorman, nothing. Tommy Boy Kim, no. McIntyre, nothing. Thigala, no. Osler, no. Zalatoris so far has the best round 1 average on this golf course. Adam Scott, no. 70 is his lowest round on maybe I don't have that many years, I don't know. Morikawa with the 67, by the way. He only played this once, and that was last year. Benny Ann, 70, no. Harris English, 75, oh good god. Nothing for Højgaard. Homa, no. Dietrich, 60, okay. Thomas Dietrich with a low of a 63 in round 1. A 67 average. JT Poston, no. Batia, 1 round, 64. Thomas Hoagie, lowest round is 63, but an average of 70, so that's very volatile. Harry Hall, 1 round, 64. Nick Taylor, Nick Taylor, low round is 63, but average not very good. Ludwig with the 68. JJ, no. Davey Boy Thompson has 0. Matty Fitzpatty, no. Cam, Scam, Young, no. Siwu, no. Denny's not, no. Eric Cole. Eric Cole's a good round 1. Yeah, Ben Griffin's not very good here. Hideki's not very good. Woodland's fine. Yeah, not so much Matsuyama. Sorry for those that are watching. I'm just trying to find out who has the best round 1 average here. Justin Rose, not terrible. 69 average, 66 low. Lows are pretty, that's really good, actually. Justin Rose. Cantlay. Ooh, Cantlay. Low 62, average 65.57 in round 1. Wow, so Cantlay, Morikawa, Eric Cole, Flower Power. Patrick Rogers, not good round 1. Not good on this course. Well, it was 1 round for Pavon, but it was good. Hadwin, not good on this course. Nothing for Jake Knapp. Sammy Burns, not very good. Brendan Todd, not good. Fleetwood, not good. So what did we see? Eric Cole was good. Ludwig was good. Cantlay was good. Did I already say Cantlay? I probably already did, right? Justin Rose was good. It was Cantlay, Rose. Hole. Oberg. Hoagie was erratic. Akshay Bhatia was good. Was Dietrich was good. Yeah. Thomas Dietrich was good. Colin Morikawa was good. McNeely was not good. Will Zalatoris was good. I think it was those guys. It was just those dudes. So Zalatoris, Morikawa, Dietrich, Bhatia, Oberg, Hole, Rose, Cantlay. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those 8. 8 golfers I selected. 8 golfers had a pretty good round 1 average at this event, and most of them had more than just 1 round, but some of them only had 1. What about day? I skipped by day. Day wasn't super good. Or I was wrong. Jason Day is good. 68.64 on round 1. Low round is 65. Okay, my bad. Interesting. Okay, so add J Day to it. So 9 golfers. It's golfers. What? Round summary. I don't really care. I put results in there. Yes, I can. So, yeah, we can see all of the golfers, or all of the rounds of this golfer. So he shot 65 once. He's very consistent with 68s and 69s. The only times that he really shot poor in round 1 was 2016 and 2015. Last year he shot 69, which isn't terrible. Zalatoris. 2 rounds of golf, 67, 69. That's why his average was good. Okay, good to know. I think Cole's probably going to be the same way. 65 and 68. 2023, 2024. It's pretty good. Cantlay. 65, 50. That's so crazy. Look at this. 170. Otherwise, it's 66 or better. Every year, including last year, 64. Bhatia was another one off the top of my head. 1 round of golf, 64. And then just terrible, 73, 72, 73. It's awful. Who else did we have on there? I can't rewind my own whatever. Who's the Vest AM? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, good night. It's actually a giveaway entry. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Gosh, who were the other guys? I forget. Here. This is gonna get really messy. I make no apologies for it. Tom Kim. Not good. One round of golf, 71.67. Okay. Morikawa. Was probably one round of golf. Yep. 67. Okay. I want to see what Theala was on to. Theeg 69.70. Okay, so consistent. Rose, Justin Rose. 66, 68, 69, 70, 72. Yeah, it's pretty. Okay. Was it Adam Scott? I think it was Adam Scott. No, it was not. 70, 72, 77. Okay, good to know. I don't remember who else we were looking at. Eric Cole would be my round one bet. First round later bet. I'll have to rewatch it. I don't remember what I said. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah, I looked up Rose. Rose was okay. Okay. I'll look up this one last one and then we're gonna call her quits for the night. So Thomas, Dietrich, Hughes, Scheffler. Morikawa? Damn, you can fit that in a Yahoo lineup? Dietrich, Hughes, AJ, I don't know what it's been so long. Okay. Fits. Everything else is good. Fits. Else is good. Everything's good here. Everything's good here. Everything's good here. Good. Yeah, you're good. That's a good one. Any word. That one works perfect, dude. You'll up your Yahoo bet this week? Okay. All right. Yeah, that lineup was good, man. That fits all the buckets. It's perfect. Any other questions? Any last questions before I call it a night? These are all the giveaway roll calls. Make sure y'all see that I got you. Oh, do we have 5 people who've not liked the stream? 5 people. If you're one of 5 people that has not liked the stream, if you like it and I can get up to 25 likes, I'm giving away 5 YouTube memberships. We're at 20 likes. I just need 5 more. I saw a little spike of people come in, so if you want a chance to win a YouTube subscription, all you got to do is be subscribed to the channel, enable your gift, or enable gifts so I can gift you a Oh, I don't mean to delete that message. Sorry, John. I deleted a message I didn't intend to delete. Oh well. But yeah, the goal earlier, I should have probably put it on the screen, but the goal is to get to 25 likes. And if we did, I was going to give away 5 memberships on YouTube. Ooh, here's the sweet spot optimal from last year. 11, 4, 9, 89, 74, 66, 63. 66, 63. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. Oh, we got to 21 likes. I don't want Cam Young. Pretty darn close, though. Figured Mac Hughes would be one of the 6K golfers. AJ, you're welcome, sir. Johnny Vegas, no thanks. Actually, if I were to build a lineup like last year, it would be probably something like this, right? It would look just like that. There you go. There it is. That's the lineup from last year for this year. Scheffler, Fleetwood, Day, Hosler, Rose, and Hughes. Bank it. GPP winner, baby. I'm kidding. Oh, we got to 22 likes, you guys. Oh my goodness. Just need 3 more. Just need 3 more. We're so close. So close. I'm trying not to end the stream because if we get to 25, I'm going to gift those memberships. I'm going to stay on stream just to see if we can get them. 22 likes, need 3 more. We're getting close. I'm going to update the optimizer for the people who are looking for the optimizer. Do I have any points that are added? Any boosts? Oh, there is a boost. Oz, you know what? That's for me. I'll go ahead and knock down Hosler for other people. That way you don't have to play that loser like me. So I'm sure I'm gonna lose playing him. Everything else is good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get to 25 likes, especially with me just kind of doinking around. I will throw this on the screen though. Just a little reminder. We reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm giving away $1,000 worth of giveaways. And all I need is, well, 1 to get to 1,000 subscribers. And if you want a chance to win one of those giveaways, create an account on SweetSpotDFS.com. It is free. You do not have to pay for anything. Just go sign up. And you can use the tools that I showcased in this video. 22 likes. So close. All right, guys. I don't think it's going to get any closer. It's pretty late. I'd be surprised. I'd be shocked if people were on right now. If new people would be coming in the chat. It may sound like I'm hoping and praying and trying to get more followers and likes and stuff like that. But really, it's just to give away 5 memberships. You know what? We're going to do it anyways. It's the end of the month. If I don't use them, I lose them. So why not use them? I just got to go to my channel. You have 10. Gift 5 now. All right. AJ Love gets one. BG Little Neck. Bob Hale, Cody Gamble. Denny Barry. There we go. You know what? Can I do it one more time? We're giving away 10. End of the month. JK Lawrence. Joey B. Swede 119. Mr. D-Lo. And Rand Dazzler. That's awesome. If you want the opportunity to get a membership, you have to go into your settings, your Google settings or your YouTube setting. I think it's Google. Go in there and change your gift enabling from off to on, because it's by default off. So go change it to be on, and you will have an opportunity to get a gifted membership. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for me though. It is late. So I will see you all next week at the WM Phoenix Open. Good luck this week. I'll see you later.